Hey everyone, this is Rob,
And Michelle.
and welcome to Bunebape, your weekly podcast and everything you need to know about old school or RuneScape. And
Meet Merp.
Meep Merp, yeah, actually live potentially, well not live, but recorded on video. This is obviously our first time, so the setup might not be perfect, and might not, as in it is not.
There's a chance that this will all get edited out and it will not be a video.
Yes, there is totally that chance. But yeah, so this is going to be the podcast. Hopefully, we'll continue to improve the video situation. But yeah, let us know what you think about it. And this is us.
Yeah.
And if
And
you've never seen,
yeah, hello.
hello.
Most people don't even listen on YouTube. So sorry for this little intro if you're not on YouTube right now.
Yeah,
You're just like, get to it, bro.
yeah, totally. I mean, yeah, I guess we wouldn't release two different episodes.
I'm not
So
going
yeah.
to do that.
But yeah, so here we go. We can go into
Docket?
the docket, which is going to be Deadman Apocalypse. But of course, we're going to start and go off of all the stuff that we have updated for you this week.
Oh, yeah. We're already so discombobulated, like 120 episodes, and somehow we can't remember our normal order right
Yeah.
now.
So we're going to be going over the docket, starting off with stuff that we want to update you with this week, including maybe some videos or just any account updates that we might have as well. Also, if it looks like I'm turning a lot, it's because that's actually normally what I do. I usually talk towards Michelle.
We spent like 5 minutes trying to figure out how we were gonna sit. Usually the mic is like would be blocking my face right now, and Robert would be sitting sideways.
Yeah, and before we get questions, the camera is facing the direction because that's the direction Michelle uses for the stream, which you can check out at twitch.tv/boonbabe.
Casual segue.
But beyond that, after our updates, we're going to go into Deadman Apocalypse. So we went over this last week, but there is some initial feedback that they wanted to address. And speaking of feedback, they have some updates for the Jagex accounts.
Is that even feedback?
Well, kind of, because they're asking for feedback, and people have
Oh,
given
okay.
feedback.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah,
You're
I
like,
mean,
we're making this work.
yeah, if you've read it, then you know.
Yeah.
But then we also have Desert Treasure 2, which is pretty big, because this is obviously the biggest quest they've come out in quite some time.
Yeah.
One of
Not one, but two blogs for this as well.
yeah, two blogs, an additional one that came out after this for some interesting potential new items in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then lastly, we do have the actual update for this week, which is going to be Forestry Part 1 Redux. So again, and some
More changes.
more changes, more hot fixes, and kind of just stuff that they went over last time, but they're actually implementing it this time around.
Yeah.
And actually I pulled something from Reddit that I thought was really interesting that they could do for Part 2. I don't think they will, but I think it would be a really good idea.
Okay.
But we'll
are
get
you
to
sure?
it. We'll get to it whenever we go over the update.
Okay.
So, yeah, but with
And
that,
then
then we end off with a Q&A as per usual. Of course, like everything, if you want to get into our Q&A, if you want to get into the stream, let us know. Give us your questions anywhere. You can find us on all of our socials. Like I said, our Twitch already, or specifically our Discord channel. We have one just for questions, and you can join us at discord.gg/boonbape.
Yep. Yeah, what you guys don't know, and I couldn't casually do it this time, is he always forgets the Q&A, and usually I tap him and mouth the words Q&A, and I was like, oh.
But of course, before we get into any of that, Michelle, how's it going?
Going pretty good. Wow, wait, I could show my planner.
Yeah.
But I have nothing this week, so it doesn't actually matter.
Yeah, don't show that.
This is what I do every week. I have my little planner that I pull
You want to
up.
show them your specific writing? No, let's not do that.
Not
Let's
right
spare
now,
them.
because I have my psychiatrist's name in it.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, all I've gotten this week is 91 mining on the main.
Nice.
Not a single purple
Lot
was
of,
to be had.
A lot of updates. Huge.
I haven't, well, okay, I actually have a lot of updates on my hardcore, but I don't have them written down.
Oh, that's good. At least we can update people appropriately.
I'll do what I remember.
And at least you'll remember for whenever you do the videos for that.
Shush.
I'm sure you'll remember.
No, okay, it's fine. But anyway, I've been writing them down by days and activity. I title my videos like that.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so I did the 91 mining. I've been at MLM kind of on my main. Haven't been doing raids much. I've done a few raids, but not a lot. And no
Yeah.
purples, unfortunately. But on the hardcore, I've been having a lot of fun on the hardcore. I got to the 50 fire making. I thought that I was going to be able to be like at Winter Tot like all of this stream. Winter Tat. All of this stream. And it turns out that woodcutting and fire making was slower than I expected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fast, but also not as fast as you
I
think.
remembered it being faster.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was kind of unfortunate. But also, I was doing the forestry events, so kind
Yeah.
of my own fault.
Were you fletching?
No,
Oh,
I was
really?
only fire making.
Yeah.
Well, to
Okay.
get my fire making up.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely the way to go. I
Yeah.
mean, honestly, you might want to, I don't know. I mean, I haven't done it, so I can't say that how difficult it is, but maybe you want to try soloing it.
No,
Okay.
I've done it before.
Yeah. I mean, it
I
does take a
tried it,
long
did not like
time, but
it.
you get so much more construction from what I understand.
Yeah, everyone says that if you go from 50 to 99 fire making in solos, you will get around 68, 69 construction.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Dude, it's like every day someone new comes in and they're like, "Did you know how much construction you could get here?" I'm like, "Yes, but
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do
I mean, I guess also
that."
if you do a substantial amount of temporos leveling up, then you'll probably get enough planks from there to counteract it. But
Yeah, and I'm going to Tempe next. I'm doing 100 KC here, and then I'm gonna do 100 at Tempe next.
all right, there.
Yeah, so it works out. But I ended up making it to Wintertop. I've done like 66 KC so far. I'm not opening up any of my crates. My plan right now is because I was going to go and like get my Herbler up, but then I saw a druidic ritual. You get attacked by skeletons that don't max hit you, but also like our internet's been really bad lately. Like, oh, you don't know actually know because you've been asleep, but it's
Yeah.
DC the last 2 streams in a row with randomly in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't really want to go and do that when I'm low hit points. So my plan now is to get 100 done and don't open it, then go get my hit points up, and then go get my Herbler up.
Yeah.
Just doing whatever quest I could do for Herbler, so then I get better herbs from the crates.
Nice.
Yeah, that is my master
It's a
plan.
good idea.
Yeah. So I think I'm gonna be working on that more tonight. Hopefully tomorrow I have updates on something else. You know,
Something else, yeah.
anything else? Oh, I was doing the Arceus library, trying to like do like the fetching the books and stuff for favor, and I was able to get 31 magic that way.
Nice.
Yeah, I went from like 10 to 31. I think I'm gonna get to 37 so I could tele to Falador because I don't mind it. I don't have like high agility, so I have to walk a lot, but I don't really mind it too much. So I think I'm
Yeah.
gonna stick with doing that for now because it doesn't get your hit points up and you're not wasting runes.
Yep.
Mhm.
Arceus library, pretty good.
Yeah, I already reached the 100% favor there for sure.
Yeah.
But what have you been up to?
I have been working on my hardcore, so got quite a few levels there. I don't really remember what I updated on last time, but since then I have gotten.
You were just woodcutting last week.
Yeah, I was like, since then I've definitely gotten 50 agility levels. I know I didn't
Jeez.
mention that last week at all. So yeah, I did agility, a few levels at the gnome area.
Course.
Yeah, the gnome course, and then I went straight to Drainer, and then from Drainer to Varrock, and then I stayed at Varrock until actually 50, just so that I could go and skip the Mauritania Cannabis farm.
Because you don't
and then-
unlock it.
Yeah, I don't want to unlock it. If anyone knows, unlocking Mauritania, you have to fight like the demon dog thing, which you
And
can.
Priest in Peril.
Yeah, Priest in Peril. You can like flinch him,
Mhm.
but I didn't want to risk
Yeah,
that.
Nunu did it in our group, but I'm not doing it.
Yeah. Oh, I guess beyond that, I don't think I mentioned that I did a bit of thieving. I thieved 1,000 cakes, and I also
Just a bit.
thieved I think around 1,600 silk, and I went and sold it all, so I had like 100K.
Oh.
Yeah,
My God.
yeah, so that's pretty cool.
I'm back to around 1,000, so
Yeah, so that'll give me enough for what I want to do next. I'm not gonna tell you guys,
secret
but
secret.
secret.
Can you get graceful yet?
No, I only have like 105 marks, and you need if I
260?
recall 260, yeah, for
Yeah.
the full outfit. But I might be going for a little bit more than the outfit. We'll see.
Yeah.
Also, I got really close to 50 thieving, which is nice because I want to get to 50 thieving and 50 agility. So I've got one of the two, which is nice. But I'll if you know, you know. Then I don't want to really give away everything on the
I
account.
don't know.
I know you don't. It's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you've never done it, so it makes sense.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's the plan so far. Gonna go to Hosidius soon after I do some more agility. It might take me a few days. I'm not sure how long I'm gonna go for.
Is it a secret what you're doing, Hosidius?
No, I'm gonna get up my farming, getting
Oh.
up my favor, and then I'm gonna thieve some master farmers, and then do some because that's a protected plot after 75 Hosidius favor, I think.
Yeah.
So
Something like that.
I won't need any of the. I won't have to worry about buying any of the fertilizer and stuff like that, or what's
Making
it
it.
called?
It's compost?
Compost. Yeah. Well, I guess you could buy it, but either way, I don't have to worry about them dying. So Yeah, I'm gonna thieve the master farmer a little bit. I know 50 thieving and no farming level sounds like a foolish idea. Well, I don't care. So
He's just doing whatever he wants for fun on this account.
yeah, and the only reason I'm doing that, I'm not gonna do a ton of it, the thieving and the farming. It's just so that I can get 34 farming. I think that's how much you need for tithe.
34, 35. I thought it was 35,
Yeah,
but
it could be 35, but yeah,
I
one
hit
of those.
75 million farming yesterday. I don't remember getting
Nice.
to tithe. Yeah, so I don't have the pet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what I was thinking, getting to tithe, getting the 100% favor, which gives me access to a pretty nice guild, you know. Again, if you know, you know.
Farming guild or woodkin guild?
We'll see. And then
Okay.
but yeah, that's about it. Besides that, I was playing a bit of Elder Scrolls as well. I leveled up another character to level 50, which is this is all a surprise to people. I only started playing again over the weekend. I already have like a not a maxed account, but like a character that's like pretty
Very
well established in
progressed.
that game. I've done
Mm-hmm.
some raids. I'm not playing it super seriously. Just some friends wanted to play, so that. And then yeah, I think that's about it. Next week I'm gonna play some Diablo. The new season comes out for anyone that plays. You can hit me up. I'll play with you probably.
Oh, okay.
If I am playing, I mean, not I don't plan on playing a lot, but if I am and you are, then we can play together.
Then why not?
Yeah, besides that, just a little bit of Battle Bit with Ninja. Shout out. You can also play Battle Bit with me. That's
Oh,
fun.
I was playing a game of Ninja too.
Oh, yeah, you
I
were
started playing
playing The
Sons of the
Forest. Yeah,
Forest.
Sons of the Forest, the new one.
Yeah, it's fun. I like it a lot.
Nice.
That's all I have to say on it. Kind of creepy at times. I'm not the best at the combat in it, and I keep like dying, which means that I respawn at the cannibals camp and have to like cut myself down. But I'm enjoying it still. I don't.
Nice.
It's not even finished yet. So
No, it's still in beta.
yeah.
Definitely still in beta.
Oh yes.
But yeah, besides that, just been playing a lot of different games, having some fun, and still doing everything else.
Cool.
Yeah. So I guess that is going to be that. We can move on to the Deadman Apocalypse update.
Yeah.
Did you want to start it?
Sure. All right, so getting into Deadman, we kind of talked about this last week because I'm not going to go over everything again, but we're going to go and talk about the feedback that they've received. So, a little bit of a reminder that last time they planned on handling the pricing specifically very differently, and rather than having like a very top heavy esports style distribution with a 1v1 finale, then they are now going to be like giving away money in every tier
Yeah,
in like
so
smaller groups
it is
or
going to
larger
be
groups.
proportionately more as far as like the amount of prizes per player potentially is
Yeah.
higher the higher you rank. For instance, I think
Oh, it's changed, so don't even say what you think it
yeah, but
is.
anyways, for instance, it would be like 5 out of the top 25
Yeah.
for the top bracket,
Mm-hmm.
with it being like 15 out of the top 100 for the like third or fourth bracket. So
Yeah, it's per
overall,
bracket, so it's not just like the first person
yeah.
wins.
So overall, proportionately less money in the top tier, but better odds of you getting money in comparison to the other ones, not in comparison to previous years.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, I actually think I had some concerns about that last week as well.
I like it.
I like it, but I knew people wouldn't, and
Well, of
also
course.
I did kind of want them to incentivize winning more. Because I mean, if you're like, oh, I have a pretty good chance of just getting, you know, how whatever place, you know, 100th place,
Yeah.
then you might as well you might be incentivized to not progress potentially.
No,
Because you're like, oh, I still have a pretty good chance. I'm just not going to spend the extra, you know, grind and just end it here.
they've changed it a little bit.
Yeah.
So, from the blog, some players expressed frustrations regarding our plans for prizing this time around, especially those with a history of competing in Deadman seasons.
Who would have thought?
While many of you might just be excited to play for the first time and not see any issues, we'd like to share some feedback that we received so that those who aren't as excited about this season's prize pool know that we've at least seen, understood, and spoken about your concerns before, because we absolutely appreciate where you're coming from.
That's a nice way of putting it.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like that they're acknowledging it rather than if they didn't, people would be wondering like, did they even see my post?
No, yeah, they always
They're
see
like,
them.
we saw, we
They
just didn't
always
agree.
see.
So, for many PvPers, Deadman is the only official competitive PvP outlet in Old School. In the past, Deadman seasons ran every 3 months and were much more frequent than they are now.
Yeah, now they don't exist.
It's been a long wait since Deadman Reborn due to the finale rerun and a busier content schedule for us through most of 2022 and 2023 compared to other years. Some veterans feel like there's less of a focus on competitive PvP this time around due to the introduction of point system. Some veterans were anxious about getting too experimental because it's unclear when they'll get either another Deadman or some other competitive Jagex sanctioned PvP event to show off their skills and earn some prize money. Some players who are likely to rack up large numbers of points feel that only having a random chance to earn some prize money at the end is discouraging, since players who perform worse than them might win in their stead.
Yeah.
Which I like that, obviously, because I'm not as good, but I get it.
Yeah, because like I said, you'd win the same amount of money if you got first as if you got 100 potentially.
Mm-hmm. Some players shared concerns that the finale happening in multiple worlds simultaneously will spread players too thin and reduce the spectacle, and not having an ultimate winner reduces prestige.
Nah, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I mean, they could just have, if they really wanted to, they could just have like some round robin thing, but I don't think it really I don't think it does what that was like addressing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think if you win, then that means that you like played the game the best.
Yeah.
Not necessarily that you're the best PKer, because this isn't just PKing, which is I think nice and like fairly unique. But I guess obviously this would be nice in my opinion if there were other PvP specific events to accompany it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can see the frustration with this being by itself the only PvP event for the last 2 years.
Yeah. The only thing we'll ever get ever again.
Yeah.
Our main reason for adjusting the way we distribute prize money is that it gives us a chance to still reward some players for participating and putting the time in to progress, but aims to disincentivize players from playing dirty or engaging in behaviors that have plagued previous Deadman seasons.
Oh, only honor PK.
So I didn't even think about this. That I didn't even think about how the prize pool could have been like why stuff was getting messed up last time. I think that's why like they're keeping it random, so that way you don't know who's gonna win, so you can't be so mad about losing that you're gonna screw everyone else over.
I think that's a really smart way. It's unfortunate because obviously the top 25 players should get rewarded, but
there's so many people who are shady that
it is like I said, like my concerns last time. It's really difficult to do that without someone out of the thousands of people that are playing to not somewhat be incentivized by even a couple bucks to want to DDoS the servers.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think they would either have to have it offline or do something like this, which both would suck.
For Deadman Reborn, we ran a 1v1 finale for the top 2,048 players. This finale was targeted by network attacks, resulting in significant lag and a poor experience for players as a result. So we went away and explored options for a rerun that we are confident we'd be able to run without any of the same issues. We delivered a rerun in June of 2022, which was also targeted by network attacks.
Yes.
So what we're getting at is that despite us investing significant time and money into delivering a truly competitive experience where the best player wins and things run without a hitch, we've not been able to do so. Rather than retread old ground and expect things to go differently, we're trying to mitigate risk by reducing the incentives for bad faith actors, and a more widely distributed prize pool is one way for us to do this when it comes to the last player standing portion of rewards.
Yeah. I mean, this is honestly just a really obvious thing that has happened in every online game ever. Like even World of Warcraft.
People just get mad and they do stuff?
Like literally like 2 or 3 weeks ago, World of Warcraft was down because not just WoW, but like all of their games servers, Overwatch's servers, Hearthstone servers, like not all of them, but a significant portion were down specifically because of DDoS attacks.
Dude, that's so annoying.
You cannot really mitigate them if someone is a like such a persistent threat. Like it's not something you can like stop. It's just you're getting so much traffic you can't handle it. Like no one would have enough bandwidth to handle that.
Yeah.
So it's not something that they can really, fight too much.
This year's final hours are planned to run on multiple worlds at the same time, not limited to combat bracket. We completely understand concerns shared about the potential for activity to be lower during the finale, especially bearing previous DMMs in mind. At the same time, with no 1v1s and the finale being open to anybody who wants to turn up, we believe we'll see more players engage all the way through, rather than stopping when it's clear they won't make the top 2,000 or have a good shot at going far in a 1v1 stage. We appreciate that there is absolutely a risk of worlds feeling sparse during the finale, but it's one that we are willing to take so we can experiment with a fresh approach and take learnings, both positive and negative, a way to use when planning future Deadman events. Throughout the season itself, we'll be taking a very proactive approach to the number of worlds available and are happy to remove worlds as necessary to prevent players from spreading too thinly.
Yeah, I think that's cool.
I'm not really even worried about that.
I would have done a like more of a hybrid approach where I would have done until the top however many, top 48. And then I would do a offline round robin scenario.
The thing is, they just want to all be live.
Yeah, obviously, but
Yeah,
like that's why I think maybe a hybrid would be better because then you'd be compromising in ways that I think both parties would maybe like more because you would still get a pretty nice spectacle and then they could hype up that the next day they would have a fully, edited finale video
true.
ready to go. And then I mean, yeah, maybe not even have it like the that event the same day as the main event, just have it the next day or something like that, just
Or
so that
don't tell people when it's scheduled because that would
yeah,
defeat the
exactly, because then
purpose.
those 48 people they would all be guaranteed prizes in this fake scenario because then obviously all those people would be happy because they're technically the best, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah,
And then you would also have it offline so then you could potentially build up the hype, make a video of it, people could go back and see it. I think that would be kind of cool instead of it just being like they said not many people or it just like not being really exciting or whatever. And maybe that could be like a good middle ground. i
yeah.
don't i don't know. I know they do that for like things like other competitive games like Counter-Strike. They'll have like the top 64 teams do round robins and then the top 4 they'll have like a actual LAN or something like that.
Yeah, I like what they're doing now. My only alternative would be an in-person event so it could still be live.
Yeah, of course,
Yeah.
that's the pinnacle, but
I don't think that they would make it not live.
yeah,
I think
I
that's
don't.
why they're trying out this instead of like.
Yeah.
Also, our chairs are so loud, so I'm sorry.
Yeah, if it picks it up, it picks it up. It's okay.
I'm more aware of it because usually I cut it out. Just a heads up too. I'm just gonna try to edit less in this because it's also gonna be video.
Yeah.
So cutting out less of like the squeaky chairs and stuff.
Yeah, so this is going to be more unfiltered than usual.
Yeah, I'm gonna start bleeping out whenever we accidentally swear.
Yes. Even though that'll never
Spicy.
happen.
Uh huh.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyways, so yeah, I don't know. I agree. I don't think they'll ever do it, but they're just going to keep running their heads into this wall, unfortunately,
yeah.
is what it seems like.
But yeah, the point systems is a first for Deadman, aiming to give players a progression track for engaging with more content in the game. While PvP will break out at breaches and other effective point earning activities, it's difficult to make PvP the primary means of earning points due to potential for boosting. Instead, we've aimed to make participating in breaches the most appealing avenue for earning points, so that players looking to make the most points, make the most gains, are incentivized to head out to these locations where PvP is guaranteed to occur.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that works.
Yeah.
I actually like the point system, but I get the arguments about it.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's okay.
Similarly, with people looking to earn points in all manner of ways, we expect activity to spread a little further afield and increase your odds of finding players to fight all over the world, or perhaps wrestling for control of a particularly popular source of points. Similarly, we saw a number of players express frustration about the raffle style system for rewards given based on points earned. This primarily boils down to us wanting to experiment and try something different, and it feels like something worth exploring as a way to keep people more interested in Deadman for longer, knowing that they have a chance at winning some prize money, resulting in worlds staying busier for longer and ultimately resulting in more PvP later in the season. I hard agree with that. Because I think that everyone who wants it to not be the raffle are people who are really good and get into the finale, but they need to realize like a lot of people are going to give up when they realize they can't get into the finale, and the worlds would just be dead.
Yeah, I mean potentially, yeah, because
I
you
mean,
have those
maybe that's how I
players.
thought of it. Is I stopped playing because I was like, oh, I'm not going to make it very far. Might as well stop.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people think that way because last time it was decided by total level, right?
I
So
don't remember even.
I'm pretty sure, or if I remember right, it was. But anyways, so like you would just like realize that you're not going to get max because I think you pretty much had to be max or like
Probably
close
if
to
that's what it
max to get
was.
in. And so I think if you just realize you don't have that type of commitment, then but you really like PvP, maybe you just only like PvP and you're like I'm never doing skilling, then you
Mm-hmm.
would just not get in.
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe this is better. I don't know how else they would really do it besides like a point style
Yeah,
system in addition to it, but
it's really like going for the gambling aspect that all of us like. We're like, well, what if I do win?
yeah, maybe. Who knows?
It's the right angle, I guess, because I'm
Anyways.
intrigued.
But they did change the prize pool too.
Yes, they did. So, this is just an idea. Of course, this is not confirmed, but this is what they're thinking. So, $1,000 to the last player left alive on each of the 5 final worlds. removing the 500 for most damage dealt to bosses during the finale and rolled it into the survival bonus instead. We'll also be heavily toning down the number of monsters present during finale so that it feels more like the multi-combat mayhem from older Deadman finales, with a significantly reduced risk of you having to tank a team and a Dagonoth King simultaneously.
Yeah.
$1,000 to 20 players based on point tiers, and we'll be adjusting the number of prizes going onto each tier to try and make things a little more top heavy. So 3 players at Adamant tier, 5 at Rune, 7 at Dragon, and 5 players out of the top 25 will get $1,000.
Yeah, that's I mean, a lot.
Not as much, but I still would want to try.
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't know. Like, I feel like them changing it like that was like, I don't know if it was the best idea.
This or the one before?
This one, just because like maybe they could have kept the other ones below the top 25.
Adamant and Rune, they probably could have just kept 500.
Yeah, Adamant and Rune, that's not like a huge achievement for most like top end PvPers or something like that. Like, I don't know. I feel like that's just those people are like lucky to be there, you know. And
we'll see how it actually goes.
And then the 7 players for Dragon tier, I feel like that could have been like 750 or 500, and then you could have just like more loaded the top end, because it's still only 5 out of 25, which I don't like. They get more money, but it's like, okay, it's still only 5.
Yeah.
I would have rather have seen, you know, half, like 12 or 13 get, you know, maybe 500, but at least more people would get it.
I guess that based on their suggestions now, is people were saying that they wanted more money, less people, which I disagree with.
I mean, this is a game. These aren't, I mean, obviously it takes skill to get to that point, but like these aren't like, you know, I don't know, like paid professionals to do this.
Esports.
So it's like, yeah, it's like, I mean, obviously, like I said, it takes skill to get there. They deserve to be there. They should be rewarded, but I don't think like $1,000. I'd rather see 10 players at 500.
Yeah.
Than, well, as a spectator, obviously. I mean, whoever gets 1,000, they're probably thinking I'm stupid, but yeah.
But all the other 20 people might be like, "Dang, I wish there was 5 more people getting 500."
Yeah, because imagine exactly how the
You're playing for the odds, you know. I'd rather have a 50% chance than a 1 out of 5 chance.
Yeah, exactly.
Even if it's less money.
Like, imagine being like one of those top 20 dudes. Imagine if you get the second most kills, and you don't get money, and the dude that got like, you know, 59th place in Dragon tier got money. It's like, all right, why did I even spend the time?
Yeah, that's what people are annoyed about.
Yeah, so it's like this doesn't really fix that. It's just like now it's like the richer get richer, I guess, but they just haven't got the money yet.
Yeah.
So,
Fair.
I don't know. It just feels like a kind of a weird thing. Also, I don't like the rollover from $500 to the most damage dealt into a survival bonus.
Why?
Because they do survival bonuses in other battle royale type games, which this is pretty much a battle royale at this point.
Battle royale with monsters.
And it's not a good incentive to give people survival bonuses.
Oh, because you can just hide.
Yes, it incentivizes hiding.
I'm gonna try and be there and hide.
You could. That is literally.
Every time, like the Hunger Games and all that stuff, I'm always like, I would just hide the entire time.
Yeah.
Hope they kill each other.
Exactly. That's it. It's funny you say that, because Apex Legends, the biggest battle royale game in the world right now, I'm pretty sure. That one, they recently, my friend told me, so this is all hearsay, I could be totally wrong, but
friend, the known liar.
Yeah, the known liar. But, yeah, he pretty much only plays Apex, and he was telling me he stopped playing recently because they changed ranked to highly regard your placement. And so a lot of players, actually someone made a video of them getting to Predator, which is like the top 1,000 players in the world or something like that, only hiding. They didn't kill anyone.
It's like they're rewarding you for defensive stuff, I guess. Not even defensive stuff, because you're like just straight hiding.
Just avoiding the main content of the game.
Which they should probably just reward you for being active players, like going and attacking.
Yeah.
I get...
It's
like just
weird.
Again, I don't get that, but
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Now I want to be like, oh, I'll hide. I know that the fog pushes you, but you can probably make it a couple tiers in before.
Yeah, especially if you're fighting, you notice someone hiding, but then someone comes to attack you, you're not going to go fight the hiding person. You're going to defend yourself, and by that time, you know, that's not a priority anymore.
Yeah, and they're in the next tier.
Yeah, that always happens, and then that party gets third partied, and it's really just 2 guys and a hiding dude. And if the two guys end up duking it out, have 1 hit point, the hiding dude could win.
That's so funny.
So,
That's like what I was thinking whenever I read the Hunger Games as a teenager, and I'm like, why wouldn't they just hide and hope everyone kills
yeah,
each
why
other?
wasn't Katniss just hiding in a tree the whole time?
I mean, to be fair, they were hiding a lot,
Yeah,
but
which is
not
why
enough.
those movies sucked, honestly.
I liked them.
Yeah, nope.
As for official competitive PvP outlets in Old School, you're right that Deadman has been carrying that torch in recent years, and we understand why some of you aren't fans of the approach we're taking with Deadman Apocalypse. Generally, it's uncommon for developers to run competitive events with the frequency that we have in the past, especially for titles that are inherently competitive in nature, with many preferring to work with third parties to run events or to forego them entirely. While we're not ruling out the idea of partnering with others to run more events in the future, we also want to reiterate our commitment to community events and community organizers. Old School is community driven first and foremost, and our player base is full of creative people who could absolutely flourish as organizers given the right support. If you get in,
This is wild, bro.
it's kind of cool.
This is wild.
It's cool. So
they're like, yo, we're not gonna staff this. If you guys want to work for free, get on it, brother.
Let me keep reading. If you get in touch with us with a pitch for an event, explain to us what it's for, who it's for, and the kind of help that you're after, we'll always give it the time of day. If it's a solid pitch, we're open to supporting with prize pool, social coverage, advising, putting you in touch with creatives who might be of use, like graphic designers, and potentially other things like private worlds or broadcast support. So if you'd like to try your hand at running the fabled 2016 J Cup, get in touch and let's make it happen.
This is
okay.
The most wild pitch I've ever seen.
Weird, but like that's like how Hanani did her charity event.
No, that's fine.
And it went really well.
But for them to outright say this
weird.
is so out of bounds in my mind. They're like, yo, we are not going to invest in this, but if you want to organize everything, get all the sponsors, get the designers ready, get all, the whole concept going.
Well, they'll help you a
then,
little bit.
We'll give you a couple bucks and your time's free, obviously, because that's worth nothing. But then you can put on the event for us to sponsor to show off our game. Like, this is crazy.
I like it, but I'll admit it is kind of weird in general.
Nuts. They could just get 5 sponsors for their game, which is one of the top 10 MMOs in the world.
Yeah.
Pretty easily, and then they could just hire someone to do this. Like, I don't know what the deal is. They act like money just doesn't exist. They're like, yeah, we get paid in peanuts and soup. So
well, it's like we were like talking about this on stream the other day about just like random stuff, like them seeming like stingy with things, and we were just talking about it's probably like the higher up people who like don't care about the game.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So just like don't like hit up any mods and harass them for this.
No,
like they don't have anything to do with it.
This is expected from like venture capitalist type people.
Yeah.
Obviously, they don't care. They don't want to. Why would they give us money?
Yeah.
They're literally investors. That'd be crazy for them.
It's annoying. On the topic of having an overall winner, we agree the approach we're taking this time around does diminish that sense of prestige for one player who wins out above all others. While we're not sure there's an easy way for us to achieve this for Deadman Apocalypse, it's absolutely something we'll look to consider in future Deadmans, in terms of a way to bring back that more competitive side of things. Perhaps next season we'll pick a top 32 to fly to the UK and complete in a LAN event like the good old days.
Yeah.
I was thinking that'd be cool. Imagine you're so good that you get an all expense paid trip to the UK for like a weekend.
I mean, that would be cool.
That'd be baller.
I'm almost certain it would just be the flight, if anything.
They wouldn't even pay for a hotel, you think?
Maybe like you could stay with like Mod Kieran or something. Like
you could stay at their apartments.
I don't know, dude. I just don't see it. But
that'd be fun if it was something like that.
It's funny that they're all like in almost the same breath. They're all like, yeah, so if you guys want to do this free work for us, we might fly you guys out next time whenever we do the event. Maybe. That's like when your boss is like, yeah, if you do this really big project, all these extra hours, we'll give you a raise, and never does it in writing. And then when the time comes, you just don't get the raise.
I don't even remember that conversation.
He's like, I mean, really, there's a lot of problems. I had to really get on you for that. It's like, come on, brother.
I love it.
Yeah, I don't know. Definitely sad. You know what they could have done though? When I was thinking of whenever you do, because they're gonna have a top 5, right? Like one from each world.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking it'd be cool if they did an offline thing for that and didn't tell anyone.
They'd all be in different brackets though, or different point tiers.
Oh, would they?
Yeah.
Oh.
The different worlds are for the point tiers.
Still, they should still do it. I think that'd be cool. If they didn't tell anyone and they're like, we're doing this secret thing and we're gonna have all 5 of them do like a best of 3 round robin. The top seed obviously is the higher tier, so they'll get a bye, and then they'll go against whoever's winning.
That'd be kind of cool.
That would be cool. They'll never do it, but that would be really
No,
cool.
they're absolutely
Jagex
not.
never does cool things.
Oh, Robert. Anyway, moving on to combat bracket worlds. These were a feature first introduced to Deadman Reborn that we'd like to bring back for Apocalypse instead of the XP caps we've experimented with in past years. While we saw a lot of positivity from players who were excited about feeling as though they wouldn't have to play more hours than they could keep up, and for people looking to play limited builds like Pures and Zerks, we saw some concerns about spreading players out too much and resulting in sparsely populated worlds. We agree that this is a risk, but want to give this system another try for some of the other benefits it provides, in that it doesn't punish people who weren't able to start playing day one, and it gives people who are willing to put in the hours the opportunity to pump their heart to their heart's content.
To pump to their heart's content.
I don't like the
Yeah,
I don't like the
come
word pump
on,
here, but
man.
okay. That being said, we'd like to make a couple of tweaks and clarifications to how we want these worlds to work for Apocalypse, with the aim of making the top bracket enticing enough that players will actively want to progress through the brackets rather than hide away in the lower brackets, aka my strategy. Here's a list of points that we hope clarify our thinking so far and explain how we're looking to entice players to actively progress through brackets. With no 3-life system this time around, we expect fewer players to burn out while progressing through the lower brackets, which agreed with. The last one I died like once, I think, and that's when I quit because I was like, well, I'm running out of lives.
Yeah, you start playing scared, which is natural.
Yeah. The point system provides a progression route that we believe will encourage more players to get involved and keep worlds populated widely as people look to engage in a variety of activities in game. We'd initially considered bracketing worlds within worlds, but feel being able to easily tell who can attack at any glance is important for clarity's sake, 100%.
Yeah.
We saw requests for fewer brackets if we were dead set on doing brackets, and had initially considered doing so. However, players only receive 1 hour of immunity when moving up to a new bracket, meaning they won't be able to progress much before being a target for people that are many, many combat levels above them.
Yeah.
We plan on being much more proactive this time around when it comes to removing worlds if activity drops, to further condense people and make sure that none of the worlds feel barren. That's huge, I think. Deadman Reborn's 4-time drop multiplier will only be present on the 111 to 126 combat bracket. The drop rate multiplier will increase over time as follows. So level 3 to 50 is just regular drop rate. 51 to 70, 1.75 times. 71 to 90, 2.5 times. 91 to 110, 3.25 times. And then the 4 times from level 111 and onwards. Breaches will spawn more monsters in the higher brackets. Since breaches are the best source of points, anybody serious about earning points should be progressing through brackets to reap the most rewards possible from breaches.
Yeah.
Additionally, breaches will be the only source of blighted items and ancient warrior equipment. So those of you looking to power up and gain an edge should be progressing through brackets and taking on breaches and other players at the breaches at the highest combat possible. Higher tier sigils will be much more likely to drop in higher brackets, so players looking to power up or sell them should be progressing as fast as they can to gain a competitive edge. There's a potential for us to restrict some content in lower brackets if this is something you're interested in. We're open to this since players at lower brackets wouldn't realistically have expected to compete in previous DMMs, so restricting some content to double down on encouraging people to progress feels palatable. Is that how you say that? Palatable?
Yeah.
Also, since the finale worlds aren't combat bracketed, any lower level players competing will still be contending with level 126 during the end of the season.
Yikes.
Yeah, because it's only by point tiers, not by combat brackets. So that covers most of the discussion we've had around the combat bracket world so far. Let us know, of course.
Just imagine how brutal that is.
Just let us know your thoughts, bro.
You're
You
like
make it to the finale, you're just like, bleh.
You're like the rank 1 level 49 with like a bajillion points, and this 126 just rolls up.
You're gone. Sorry. We gotta let them know your feedback with that, of course.
Yeah.
Next is automatic quest unlocks. Quests are a hot topic for any seasonal game mode. On one hand, players looking for some seasonal fun aren't excited about the prospect of questing all over again, even though the quests are great they add. I like questing.
Even though.
I like it.
Yeah, sure.
And on the other hand, strategizing a route to progress quickly through quests and fight over areas of the map is a staple of Deadman mode. When we sat down to discuss automatic unlocks in more detail, we looked at a handful of options we'd seen arise from players.
Yeah, so option 1 is going to be to proceed with the system we proposed, where the highest combat bracket would effectively autocomplete every quest. Option 2 is going to be to proceed with the system we proposed, but we're going to remove pinnacle quests from the autocomplete list, meaning quests like DS2, Song of the Elves, and perhaps even Lunar Diplomacy would need to be completed manually, which lunar diplomacy would be kind of a big. Would that be a big one? I was thinking of desert
The
treasure.
lunar spellbook.
Yeah, but I don't even know people. Oh,
Vengeance?
vengeance. Oh yeah, totally
Yeah.
forgot that existed. Yeah,
Humidify?
yeah. Humidify. I was like, oh,
Well, if you're
killing it.
running
I'm
raids,
just
humidify.
soaking everyone. They're all dead. Option three, strip the automatic unlocks back to a very basic unlock list, similar to what we had for 2020's DMM. Option four, give players a choice of one quest line to autocomplete with a basic unlock list, requiring more quests to be manually completed. That's actually kind of interesting. I don't know if I liked it the most, but it's interesting.
Okay. I'll wait till you say them all, and then I'll say what I think.
And option five is to implement a point-based unlock system similar to the one from Leagues 3 Shattered Relics.
Okay. My
But you like
thoughts?
that one.
No.
Oh, really?
I just think that they should all be auto-completed because who wants to spend time questing?
Yeah.
And also, I think that all the questing areas.
You're,
Well, this could be.
you're like, I really like questing. Also, we should not do any of them.
Well, I don't want to do it in a seasonal game mode.
Yeah.
But I guess like it's good and bad that people are probably getting like PK'd like crazy when trying to complete these quests. That could be good because more PKing, bad because no one's going to finish these quests if they're just gonna get killed every time they walk over.
Yeah.
I can see people just like camping it there and killing people.
I think potentially like a point-based hybrid system where like
I didn't mind the
maybe
point based in Leagues 3, so that'd be kind of cool.
yeah, I think like maybe like between levels 3 and 50 they're like, all right, you get like this many quest points that you can finish, and then like it continues on, and then by the time you're like 111 to 126 bracket you get like not 250 points, but you get like a lot,
A
like
couple points.
let's say like 150, like a good
It's
amount.
actually a lot.
Yeah, because I mean obviously you don't need to unlock Rag and Bone Man too, but
Most important quest in the game.
yeah,
What
I
do you
mean
mean?
obviously you want the sack, but
Ah,
yeah, so like maybe something like that, because then you can like unlock the ones you want really early on, which would make it interesting, and then by the end, pretty much everyone's gonna have the same thing unlocked anyways,
true.
which is kind of how it always ends up. So it doesn't really matter how you get there, I don't think.
Yeah.
But
I think I definitely don't like the idea of having to go and manually do it though.
yeah,
Unlock somehow.
yeah,
Because you want to, I mean, for me at least, I want to actually like try and practice PKing during it.
yeah.
So I don't have to worry about questing.
No, for sure. But I think that does present like interesting opportunities, like PKing during quests or something like that.
Yeah,
That'd be kind of funny. Also, maybe a little trolly for some people.
definitely.
But after talking through all of these, we tried to find a middle ground that still asks players to think carefully about progressing through quests, while also not expecting people to chase full completion in a seasonal game mode. Here's where we landed, and what we'd like to work on for Deadman Apocalypse. Give players a basic set of quests automatically completed with each bracket, similar to our initial proposal, but trim this down so that the quests being completed are more in line with the auto unlocks from 2020's Deadman. Identify a few pinnacle quests from each bracket. For example, the 111 to 126 bracket might be Monkey Madness 2, Sins of the Father, and DS2. Upon entering a new combat bracket, allow players to choose one of these pinnacle quests to complete, forcing them to manually complete the others if they want to reap their respective rewards. So it's kind of how we were just talking,
Yeah.
kind of in between everything.
Not auto done everything though, unfortunately.
Yeah, I like how they're like, yeah, we had these 5 options and we decided to not do any of them and just kind
I
of
thought that was so weird
mixed them
too.
all up, kind of exactly how
Yeah.
people would analyze it in such a way.
I know we didn't have to read all those to you, but I wanted you to hear all the cool options and see what they ended up with.
Yeah,
I mean, the one that they chose isn't bad, but
it's a compromise for sure, but
and they're
it's,
still looking for feedback.
yeah. It says
They could change
we still
it.
have some work to do on trimming these down, the automatic unlocks, and figuring out which choices for players to make, but feel like this system serves as a solid middle ground, which I mostly agree, especially for players not looking to repeat every quest they've already completed. So they go on to say that we know this is a shift from what we proposed initially, so we're
Definitely
curious to
is.
hear what you think about it. Yeah, that's an understatement. I wonder. Never mind. I was gonna ask who wrote this, but it's just all the mods at the
Someone
bottom.
working very hard.
I know. Moving on, we have the blighted weapons. So these are some pretty cool weapons they proposed initially.
Mm-hmm.
Says our initial positioning for blighted weapons was a means for people willing to risk heading out to breaches to be in with a shot at securing some powerful gear to have fun with during the season, and rewarding players for risking in the open world rather than being tucked away in an instance or less visited locations.
I will never get any blighted items.
We still believe they do achieve this, but also understand concerns that they invalidate some other pieces of content in the initial post. We highlighted the Twisted Bow, Tomikins, Scythe, Voidwaker, Dragon Claws, and Armadillo Godsword. not crossbow.
Probably that too.
Probably that too. As potential options. Some players felt that being able to obtain a direct equivalent somewhere else diminishes the value of grinding some of these, and definitely does, especially for players who aren't likely to continue in permanent Deadman following the end of season. To try and strike a balance between our initial aims and not devaluing the grinds or upsetting balance too much, we'll be giving blighted weapons a reduced damage output compared to their proper counterparts. That's actually kind of an interesting take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At first, I wasn't sure because I was thinking like, well, I mean, you still have to go and like risk your life to go and get the blighted, and I was thinking, oh no, there's probably just gonna be a bunch of clans who are like claiming it and like
Yeah.
farming them.
That's an option, or like maybe you just go out there and no one happens to be there for whatever reason. You just like farm like, I don't know, a couple items and then leave, and you like have like some crazy items without doing any farm.
True.
Which, I mean, that might not happen, but it could,
Yeah.
especially with dying worlds or something like that. So they say that, for example, the blighted twisted bows only does around 80 or 90% of the damage that a regular twisted bow would do, meaning it's still a worthwhile unlock earlier on, or less daunting to risk at breaches if you happen to. But it's still outcompeted by the regular version. We'll likely change the word blighted to mean something in order to make things clear that these are weaker alternatives like busted and not a proper replacement, meaning it's still absolutely worth your time to get stuck into content like the reworked wilderness bosses and assemble a real Void Waker.
I had to go and read the notes as you were talking. I was like, did they say busted? They didn't.
No,
I was like, oh.
they should call them that.
They should.
It's like, wow, you just found a busted T-bow. Even though the strength
Wouldn't that
of
be
these...
better though?
Yeah, true. Even though the strength of these items have been knocked down a peg, breaches remain their only source. As well as them being the only source of ancient warrior weapons, the best way to earn points, and the best way to earn tier 5. We get it. There's incentives.
Just really go the breaches, you guys.
Yeah, they're like, it has this, and this, and this. It's like a kid telling their parents, they're like, and then he did this.
I'm like,
It's like, all right,
that's
cool.
crazy.
Yeah, we've all seen TV. That covers most of the large topics of conversation, but we still have a whole host of smaller points, which I don't know. Are we gonna go over all these?
A couple. So like there's a few that I was interested in. So of course I'm interested in this. Will there be any main game cosmetics up for grabs in exchange for points?
Ooh, good question.
No.
Also, before we get into all this, as always, if you want the full list, there's a lot of like feedback to go over. Like it is, I don't know, like 20 different points with full paragraph responses. So that's why we're not going to go over
we're
all
only
of it.
gonna do a few.
Yeah, only going to do some more interesting ones.
Yeah.
So
So the cosmetic thing, basically, like the too long didn't read, was they're doing this in such a rushed amount of time that there's no time for that, pretty much.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. There's other interesting ones, like for instance, will those of us who work be put at a disadvantage by a midweek release? Because obviously,
do you feel disadvantaged here?
Not because of that, mostly because I just won't be playing as much.
If
but
you were
that's
playing.
Self-imposed. We're not able to say for certain, but the team are currently aiming to set themselves up for a Friday release. Interesting.
So Thursday night for us.
Also, another interesting concern is, won't you just be able to repeatedly die and alch the starter items? They're like, no, they're going to be untradeable and unalchable. So
Nice. Classic.
yeah, so yeah, definitely not.
My favorite question. Scroll down a little bit. Down. It was very low.
There's a lot.
It was very low.
Yeah. This is the end.
The last question, actually, naturally. Won't the monsters from breaches just kill all the players during the final hour? Surely Jad will just off-screen people. And I'm pissed because Jad was just an example. Jad's not going to be in it.
Oh.
Isn't that annoying?
What?
Yeah. Jad's
They
not even
said
going to be in
we
it.
mentioned Jad in the initial post for dramatic effect.
I wanted to just be fighting PKers, and then you just see a cannibal come smack them, and they just die.
I wanted half of Zuck's body to just like slowly pan over and just nuke everyone.
Why aren't they doing that? It says he won't be making an appearance. He's also quite tricky to make behave outside the fight cage.
Yeah, I wanted Zuck to just get out of the lava and start kicking people.
I'm sad about it. They said
Dang.
most of the monsters present in breaches will be pretty simple with larger hit point pools. So don't expect to see next lawnmowing an entire team at a breach, which also would be hilarious.
Unfortunate.
Think more along the lines of individual DKs, God War generals, some juiced up Slayer superiors.
Yeah, so they're not going to be their full power. Unfortunately, they did not spend enough time in the chamber. I forgot the name of it. You don't watch Dragon Ball either way.
Oh, I was like, I don't get it.
Moving on, they also addressed similar God Wars dungeon stuff. There's not going to be any likely. This is what they're planning. There's not going to be any private instances.
Yeah, so you are not safe.
Yeah, you are not going to be safe. Also, they are looking into removing the peak option for bosses to make it a more surprise interaction.
Yeah.
Whenever you go in there, because obviously DK stuff like that.
Wilderness bosses especially.
Yeah,
you have to actively go inside.
Yes.
I kind of like that.
Besides that, one thing that PKers might actually be interested in is how well the PJ timers work. So they actually have a full example.
Oh God.
Using players A, B, and C. Your favorite example. So we have.
I saw you went to read, and I was like, bold.
I figured this is something a lot of people would want to know.
No, they're probably curious. I just hate their examples every time.
Easy. So we'll say player A is in combat with player B, meaning player A has been hit by player B. In Deadman Apocalypse, it has a teleport delay, requiring you to have been out of combat for at least 6.6 seconds, which is, what is that, like 10, 11 ticks?
I don't remember.
I think that's 11 ticks.
I'm not very ticky.
Yeah.
Whenever I do, I just guess in my head and try to time it.
Well, either way, you need to wait 6.6 seconds, which I think is 11 ticks, before teleporting.
Okay.
Player A leaves combat with player B. Player A can teleport after 6.6 seconds. Remember, player A was the one that was getting attacked, so they have to be out of combat for 6.6 seconds. Player C can attack player A after 7.2 seconds PJ timer.
Okay.
So that is just slightly longer, just 2 ticks longer than the teleport delay. Player A, therefore, has 0.6 seconds. Actually, 1 tick. I don't know why I said 2. 1 tick window to teleport out. Otherwise, player C can start combat with them. So, for instance, I'll redo this for anyone
Let's
that's
do
like
another
like Michelle. So
honestly, you said player A is attacked by player B, and my mind was just like zoom.
Easy. Okay, so
I was in another world.
So let's pretend you're killing Venenatis.
Okay.
This is back in the day. There's no cave.
Trees examples. This pen has been an added.
Okay, yeah. This pen. Oh, if you're not watching, this is gonna suck.
Yeah.
So, no, we're not getting General Garage Door. So
player C.
So player A is fighting Venenatis. Player B comes and starts shooting you.
Okay.
You run away. Player B leaves. You've been running away for 6.6 seconds, which means that you can teleport away technically. If you wait 1 extra tick, which is 0.6 seconds, then General Garage Door can attack you.
Okay.
Before you teleport.
That actually helped me a lot.
Yeah, I know. It's really simple once you break it down into General Garage Doors and pens.
Yeah.
So, So actually, pretty good thing to know. So there is going to be a little bit of a PJ timer, but really, really little amount of PJ timer.
Okay.
Yeah, so...
literally just a single tick.
Literally just, you have to be clicking that teleport or you will get PJ'd.
Ready.
You will get PJ'd for sure.
Yeah.
And I think that's to be expected. This is Deadman. But,
naturally.
Yeah, so for all you players that wanted to know that, there's also some other stuff talking about sigils, which is going to be really important for anyone that's actually going to do some PvP and stuff like that. Also, some multi-combat breaches questions, emblem trader questions.
Oh, one thing I did want to go real quick was talking about new safe zones. One that they were talking about was making the Warriors Guild a safe area because you have to go and grind defenders so people could just go and
just go PK
attack everyone getting defenders.
No, yeah,
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, so they address things like rampage and aggression, which were obviously really prevalent in the last Deadman, asking questions about that. Like I said, we're not going to spend the whole time. We've already been in here for like almost an hour.
Yeah.
So we're just probably going to move on from this little chart. But again, feel free to check it out if you have any questions about all of that stuff that we may have skipped.
And give them more feedback if you have it, please.
Yes, they asked for feedback specifically. So hopefully make it good feedback, not this sucks, which I've already seen.
This.
I've already seen that.
Hate it.
So make sure to give them good constructive feedback. And this has already been out for a little bit of time, so hopefully they have...
Yeah, it came out like the day after I put out a video on Deadman Mode last week. I don't even remember if that was before or after the podcast.
Yeah, this came out 5 days ago from now.
Yeah.
So that's going to be it for Deadman
Hmm.
Apocalypse. Still looking forward to it. Looking forward to watching it. I don't know if I'll play it so much, but I
We
might.
need the money, Robert.
I
We need to
might.
move.
The thing is, even if I was interested, I'm still playing the hardcore a lot.
Yeah.
So I
No,
don't know
that's how I feel too. Especially now I'm on 2 accounts. I'm like, am I gonna want to not play on 2 accounts?
exactly.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and speaking of multiple accounts, we're gonna jump into Jagex accounts after we come back.
Yes.
All right, and we
We're
are back.
back.
So it is the next day for us, Thursday, the 13th, and we're
What
gonna
year? Let's like really describe it for them.
1994. So we're gonna go into the account updates. So these are Jagex accounts, not ours,
Mm-hmm.
and this is going to be kind of an update on stuff we already knew,
Yeah, then a little bit
but
of feedback though is some things that we didn't know and are not happy about.
well, I mean, yeah, I guess, yeah. So we'll get into it. Jagex accounts are the future of account security, and if you missed it, it went into open beta back in April. This means that everyone can now upgrade to a shiny new Jagex account. Now it's been in open beta for a few months. We wanted to share an update on how the beta is progressing. You've asked for more transparency and what we're doing to improve the Jagex account experience, so settle down and take a read. Just so we're up to speed, these are all the benefits you can get from the Jagex account. So you can import up to 20 characters under one login, previously 10.
Mm-hmm.
You can also, and you get enhanced account security, which includes stronger passwords, aka regular passwords everywhere else, which includes special symbols, which doesn't happen now. Also, I'm pretty sure it includes capitalization, which it doesn't now. So
It'd be funny if it's still not case sensitive.
yeah, weird. Anyways, so you can use a regular password. And also, there is protection against brute force attempts, which is multiple logins. And then email notifications. Also, is required to have two-factor authentication, which I think is probably the biggest thing. And
Definitely.
then also improved recovery process. So if you lose your two-factor, then you have backup codes, so you can restore your ownership to the account.
Mm-hmm.
And then also there is remembered sessions, so no logging in again. You simply click the login button and it just remembers all your credentials.
Everyone says that's the best part.
Yes. And then also easily import characters you may have forgotten about. I
Oh,
don't know what that includes, but
I
yeah.
don't even know.
Potentially, if you just don't remember what account you have, they'll just log in for you or something.
Yeah, neither of us have switched Jagex Launcher yet. We should say that first and foremost. We have not made the switch yet.
Yeah. Also, this is kind of like a thing that's been going around on Reddit. Like, if you don't know, everyone is going to have to be on a Jagex account eventually. This is not like a
Oh yeah, it's not optional,
This
huh?
is this is like a not an optional thing. It's an optional thing for now because it's still in beta. But as soon as this is like out of beta, it means
It's
everyone is
mandatory.
gonna have to do it.
It's just the
So
new way to log in.
yeah, apparently around 20% of the players that are active have gone to a RuneScape account or a Jagex account.
Yeah,
So
150,000, more than 150,000 Jagex accounts have been created.
yeah, with nearly 300,000 actual RuneScape and old school characters linked.
Everyone
So
has like at least 2 accounts.
and that includes RuneScape and old school. So it's like, all
Oh,
right,
it
you're
includes
just
both?
trying to fudge your
Oh,
numbers. I don't know.
shush.
But it says, firstly, want to understand just how much you knew about Jagex accounts and and what you felt about them. This was open to all players. This is talking about the survey that I had about Jagex accounts earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Over 90% of the survey participants know what a Jagex account is. 82% had a positive slash neutral sentiment. Again, really pumping up those numbers with the slash neutral part. Some of the biggest reasons for not upgrading, though, was fears of somehow being locked out of an account, which I think is probably the biggest one.
That's like my biggest fear for sure.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people see the boogeyman posts on like Reddit or
We'll keep
something.
reading on.
Yeah, it says issues with sharing a RuneScape account and seeing negative stories about Jagex accounts on social media. To be
There's a
fair,
chance we're falling for propaganda online right now by not making them yet.
yeah, maybe because they do say that only 7% of players had negative experiences.
That took the survey.
Yeah, with the rest describing their experience as neutral. So the
Or
main
positive.
or positive. Well, 84% said positive.
Oh,
So
okay, gotcha.
no, yeah, 84% said strictly positive, with 7% saying either negative
So
or
9%.
neutral. So pretty low percent.
Okay.
They also say that their main reason for upgrading was account security, multiple character support, and remembered sessions.
I would just want it for the account security.
Yeah.
I want to say what my thoughts are too. What are yours?
For account security or just in
Like,
general?
what would be your what makes you want to upgrade to this?
Oh, account security for sure.
Yeah, and what makes you not do it yet from the other options?
One that I'm too
Just horror
lazy.
stories.
Two that I want them to fully iron it out. Like
Fair.
I
You want to
would.
wait till it's mandatory?
Yeah, like cool if you join. I think you should join. Obviously, like we said, it's going to be mandatory.
Yeah.
They've said this in the past. It's like on their like Q&A for it. It's going to be mandatory.
My thing, I guess, is mostly just laziness as well. I
Yeah.
need to do it. We advise you all to do it, but we haven't done it ourselves because we're really lazy.
Yeah, this is exactly how it was for World of Warcraft. They switched to the Blizzard launcher. So if you play Hearthstone, even Call of Duty, or anything else like StarCraft, whatever, name it, all of their games are under one launcher. But back in the day, that wasn't required.
Yeah.
Now it is. So it's going to be just the same thing. Eventually, over time, all their games are going to be on that launcher. So
Cool.
you might as well get used to it. They also say that lastly, since we're asking about Jagex accounts, we thought it'd be good to get some feedback on the Jagex launcher too, as you need to use the launcher once you've upgraded. 85% of players had a positive experience using the launcher. Some of the biggest reasons for not wanting to use it include launcher fatigue, speaking of which.
There are too many launchers.
Yeah, because if you think about it, if you play like a few games, you have the Blizzard launcher for World of Warcraft, Steam launcher for all those games,
Everything.
Epic launcher if you play like Fortnite, the Ubisoft launcher if you play like Rainbow Six,
EA for Sims.
EA for Sims, Origin if you play any of the EA games as well. So yeah, that's
There's
the
a
same
lot.
thing.
A lot of launchers.
Yeah, a lot of launchers. So
Who
I mean,
wants
that's
more?
understandable. And also it feels unnecessary, which I mean, I guess.
Whatever.
Players only play one game. Sure. I don't really understand that, but sure. Official.
I don't get how that makes you not want a launcher.
Yeah, I was like, that
That's
doesn't make
kinda
sense. That's
weird.
only one launcher. You just launch the game the same as normal.
Yeah.
Official support for Linux and HD OS were notable reasons that that would make players use the launcher. So I don't know if it has official support for Linux. I don't think it does currently.
I don't even remember what Linux is.
Linux is an operating system similar to Mac or Windows, but it's just different.
Oh, okay.
And then HDOS, or of course,
I've heard of that.
high definition, old school, is a client similar to RuneLite, but it really is a lot lighter than RuneLite. It really just makes the game look better, and a lot of people do
plugin,
prefer
but a
it.
client.
Yeah,
Well, actually, no. I know it looks different.
it does look different. Yeah, because HD plugin I think was mostly just lighting and like some smaller things. I think HD is more like actually like textures and stuff like that.
The plugin definitely has textures and stuff.
I'm just saying more so.
Oh, I know. I was like comparing it last night. We were talking about HD, and even just like walking in the desert, the sand's just like one beige, and you turn HD, and you can see like the little lines. It's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. But besides that, those are the main reasons for people hesitant to switch to the launcher. But they also had some feedback and their actions to the feedback. So the beta is not reversible. Will this change in the future? Again, we said this is going to be a permanent thing. So once you go, you cannot go back, which is also why I'm waiting.
Yeah. Also, it's a security risk if you have an account apparently and go back.
Yeah, because I mean, yeah, I don't know how that would be a good thing for them to want to go back. They have no incentive for them to want to
Yeah.
go back. So I would like to have more spaces to import characters. So like I said, they just imported or increased it from 10 to 20. So hopefully that's
But like
enough.
those one accounts, the Firewatch Sentinels, that
Yeah.
one guy.
Yeah, exactly.
People want more than 20.
I mean, hopefully they'll bump it up to something like 50 in the future. I mean, I don't really see them raising it above that just because that seems unreasonable for most players to play more than 50 accounts.
I mean, most people wouldn't play more than 10, but apparently, the ones
Yeah.
who do,
I think I'm
really
almost
want it.
I think I'm almost up to 10 accounts.
you don't play that many
No,
frequently.
but I could. If
You
I wanted to
could.
link them, I
You
could.
very well could.
Yeah. Also, as far as HDOS goes, for anyone looking forward to that, they are adding it to the launcher. So someone did ask about it, and they said they're working on establishing just when. But once it's added, anybody with HDOS installed will be able to play via the launcher, just like how you do with RuneLite.
Yeah, RuneLite is already a thing with it.
Yeah. They're also working on features to reorder your characters. If you
That's
want
actually really nice.
the coolest character that you're playing right now at the top, then hopefully you can do that soon.
Mm-hmm.
Also, this is a thing strictly for mobile. It's not really fully supported on mobile yet, the launcher that is, so swapping accounts is difficult. And this is, I think, one of the main concerns for anyone that plays on mobile. and they say that they're still investigating how they can improve character switching on mobile, and they can't really confirm whether the feature will be, something they can work on
Might not even
soon,
work.
yeah, or at all. For the time being, we recommend using a trusted password manager. Yeah,
What's the one that we
unfortunate.
use? LastPass?
We use LastPass, but I
LastPass
mean,
is nice.
there's plenty. I mean, I think like all the VPN people have their own as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all of them do the same thing. Just
Yeah.
hopefully they don't end up as like, I think LastPass actually had that thing where like a bunch of their passwords got leaked, but I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Just choose one that you like, and hopefully you just don't get
I
got.
was gonna say my recommendation that I've had good experiences with is LastPass. That's why I'm specifically want to say one.
Yeah, no, I'm just.
But
I'm just saying.
also, if you get in trouble with LastPass, that's not on me.
Yeah, this is not sponsored. I
No.
share my account with other players, so this is the one that was more concerning if you've played the game for a while, because this is something that they've actually correctly recanted. Uh, so they're
Have they?
saying, well, they have and haven't, is what I mean.
Okay.
So they say I share my account with other players, i.e., like clan accounts, PvP builds, or GIM members, and I'm worried about my account being locked out if I upgrade, which it would be. Jagex accounts are not designed to be shared, is their response. Letting other players into your account for any reason leaves it extremely vulnerable. They could lock you out of the account, drain your bank, or use the account to break rules and ultimately require your friends access to your email account too. Account sharing is against the rules of RuneScape, and as such, Jagex accounts do not facilitate account sharing. Clan owners can configure their permissions to give deputyship, clan members, whatever. So yeah, that's weird for
Bruh,
anyone that plays the game.
I feel like I read this, and now that I'm editing out stuff like this, I could just say it. What the it was, I actually said that out loud. I'm so confused because I feel like they've been very wishy-washy on if you're allowed to share accounts.
Yeah,
Like my best interpretation of this is that yeah, it's against the rules, but they're not going to ban you unless you do like bannable things on it.
yeah. Multiple mods in the past have said, like even Mod Ash, I think, has also said things along the lines of account sharing is okay as long as it is
You're not like
not
buying it.
monetarily benefiting. So like, I can't be like, oh Michelle, do this boss for me. I'll pay you $1,000.
Yeah, but
Like,
he could be like, "Will you go fish for me while I'm at work?"
yeah, like technically that's supposed to be okay. And so I think this is one of the things where like their official stance has to be that it's not allowed, but
But
like
they won't really ban
colloquially
you
and among the community, everyone knows the real rule is you will not likely get banned
unless you're being shady or
unless,
getting money for it.
yeah, unless something like that is happening or you
Yeah.
obviously are getting reported. But
I read that though, and I actually said that loud because I was just like, it's just annoying.
yeah, yeah,
I get it, but it just annoys me. Especially too because they're like, oh, your friend could steal your bank and stuff. And I'm like, what about like just people who share an account that like are friends in real life and just don't want to commit to an account, so they play
yeah,
too. There's a lot of situations that it would be very normal to share an account, and
yep,
it's kind of annoying that now. I mean, like I don't know how. I guess people just will not be able to do that once we all have to upgrade.
yeah.
Oh,
So yeah, unfortunate.
that's crazy.
They do go on to say, answer a few of the questions. I think it's kind of obvious we're not covering all of these questions. Some
That's
of
the
them
main one I
are,
wanted to talk about.
yeah, some of them are not as important as others, as I've deemed.
I did think that one was funny. They said like, I would like to play more than one character at once. Will this ever be possible?
It's always been possible, actually. That was one of
Yeah.
their main selling features.
They're like, yeah, you've always been able to do that. Even with the regular old school client, you don't even have to use the launcher. You
Yep.
guys just open it up twice.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess like maybe you wouldn't think of it if you think of it's like a launcher like other games. But if you try, yeah, it works.
Yeah. Also, one thing to remember is this person had a question. I can't use RuneLight natively anymore now that I've upgraded, and that's correct. You will not be able to log in through RuneLight if you've upgraded your account. You have to upgrade your account, go through the launcher, and then use RuneLight through the launcher.
Yeah, everything will just be through the Jagex launcher once you upgrade.
Yeah, exactly. This will be
It's not a
coming
bad
out to mobile sooner or later. And someone asked if there's going to be support for Linux, and they do say that they're not currently supporting it on Linux. Unfortunate. So If you are a Linux enjoyer, then I mean, I guess you got to get a Windows machine
No,
just
they're
for this
talking
game
about
now.
they're talking about like community projects and stuff to help you play.
That's not,
So,
yeah, yeah.
well, yeah, but you should still include
Yeah, I mean,
that.
I think if you're a Linux user, you know that you're used to community projects powering your entire life. So this is just another one of those.
The next one actually.
Oh, this one I've actually seen a lot of people raise concerns about, not just concerns, but like real life anecdotes about why this is a
Yeah.
problem. So it says that Jagex launcher needs admin access, which means I can't install it in all the places I play. Will this change? And they essentially say no.
So, if you don't have a computer and you play at the library,
Yeah.
you can never play again.
Well, yeah, not as long as you are not the owner of the computer or don't have admin access.
That's
So yeah.
is that classist? It feels like it is. Saying like you
Um,
have to have your own computer to play it.
Yeah, I
It
didn't think
annoys
about it.
me.
I didn't think about it until someone. I remember reading someone's story. It was an anecdote of them. They're a college student. They don't have their own laptop, and so
A
they'll
lot of people
frequently
don't.
rent laptops from the library, which is free, I guess, from
Hmm.
most colleges, and then or from this college at least, and play on there. But obviously, they don't have admin access, so they can't play, and they've already upgraded their account, so they can only play on their phone now.
That sucks really bad.
Yeah,
Damn, Jagex, you're punishing people for not having money for laptops. What the heck? I
yeah.
don't like that. I get it. I get that's a security issue, but
Unfortunate.
I like you can't even do anything at that point.
Yeah,
That's
unfortunate.
so annoying.
But yeah, so make sure to be aware of all those things before you upgrade because maybe upgrading right now would be foolish, but maybe in a few months you might, get a computer or, this is probably going to take quite a few more months until this is like a required thing. So
I
maybe
kind of
just hold off until
now
you don't
knowing
have to.
like now knowing like that thing. I kind of wish that they just won't make it required because like they're literally
Yeah,
saying if you can't afford it, then you can't play.
I guess it makes sense from a security respect or perspective because like to get admin access to give them admin access means that they can go like they can secure like deeper parts of your computer, I guess, which is like an anti-cheat thing probably,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like I don't know, it's kind of weird. It's not as invasive as other ones that like go down to like the kernel level of your computer, but it's yeah, it's not nice, I guess.
Yeah.
Either way, moving on, we have some incentives for upgrading if you are planning on upgrading even after all of that.
Yeah.
uh
It's mostly good. It's just like for some people it's really not good at all.
yeah, that's kind of how it goes, unfortunately. But yeah, you will if you do upgrade and adding an authenticator to your account, as well as upgrading to a Jagex account, you are going to get 20 bank spaces for each of those activities for a total of 40 additional bank spaces. Just for doing those two things, you're not going to have to pay for it or anything like that. You're just going to get extra bank.
Nice. And there's more.
Yeah, some a really weird update, I guess. If anyone takes the Stronghold of Security seriously, well, you can now take it a little more serious once they update it, because currently it feels a little out of date, and they are going to update the security questions asked to you by the doors.
Yeah, the questions seem pretty old.
Yeah, I think the last time I did the doors was when you could still skip through the doors, and so I never answered any of the questions.
I didn't answer them on my hardcore
Yeah.
because I didn't connect it yet. But also, they said one more thing that you skipped past.
Oh, what did I skip? They say, although, now that you mention it, we have considered giving Jagex account holders the option to receive something fancier from the Cradle of Life.
So maybe new boots.
Maybe new
Extra
boots.
sparkly fancy boots.
I actually think
I-
people would dislike that.
I went to go read that myself, and then because of where the mic is, I don't know if you guys like watching on YouTube noticed, I keep looking over because I cannot see over the mic stand.
Yeah.
But speaking of not seeing, time for me to read. Let's adjust this a little bit. But get ready for Desert Treasure 2, The Fallen Empire. Old School's most ambitious quest to date is fast approaching. DT2, The Fallen Empire is the epic continuation of the iconic Majorat storyline, promising a journey spanning all of Gilnor, showdowns with epic bosses, and solving the mysteries of an ancient empire lost to history. A reminder, this quest is going to be released on July 26th, so like
Really
two
soon.
more weeks?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Almost exactly.
Yes. They go over a little bit of the lore, but honestly, I don't really want to read the lore right now. Should we?
I mean, I'm not a lore hound, so it's up to you.
I'm gonna pass on the lore, but I mean, it was like kind of interesting. It's just like talking about different ages and stuff and remnants of like old
Old
Empires,
stuff.
I guess.
Old stuff.
Yeah, but
Desert, sand, old.
exactly. That's what they say. I did want to read the requirements for the quests, though. So some of the quests you have to finish beforehand are DT1, Secrets of the North, Inakara's Lament, I don't even, Lament, Temple of the Eye, Garden of Death, Below Ice Mountain, and His Faithful Servants, which I made a video on that. Mini quest, go watch my video.
Also, random aside, every time I hear or see the word lament or lamentation, I think of Conan the Barbarian.
Oh, if I see lamentation, I think of like making pastries. Like
Oh,
on the
lamination?
Oh, yeah, that's a different word.
Yeah.
On top of all that knowledge, you also need to have some skills done, of course. So you need 75 fire making, 75 magic, 70 thieving, 62 herbal specifically, 60 runecraft, and 60 construction.
I think these are the highest requirements in the game for a quest. Well,
Maybe
because I don't think any go as high as 75.
I thought Song of the Elves did, but I'm not 100%.
Song of the Elves, I don't know. I
At
think
least
Song of the Elves
70.
goes to 70.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
75 is pretty high, though.
75 is pretty high.
But
I mean,
it's winter taught, so.
It's fire making and magic, which are like two of the ones that you're more than likely already going to have high, or if not, they're really fast to level.
Yeah, and you do have to level them because none of these requirements will be boostable.
Yep, unfortunate for you because you're a boosting fiend.
Yeah. But they next go into the rewards, which we've gone into so many times.
Yes.
So I'll just like read the names of them again just so you remember, but not really going into detail. So
Well, this one's newish. They only brought it in after the last poll.
Remind them on this one then.
So this is the Ring of Shadows. This is actually following the most recent rewards poll going to be added to the quest as a reward. And this is actually pretty cool because it serves two functions. One, it's a decent all-around ring giving you 4 base attack, 5 for magic, and also 2 melee strength and 2 prayer. So if you, for some reason, haven't gotten around to the Fremnik rings, maybe you're like an Iron Man or something, you just haven't gone because you hate DKs like me, then maybe this is just going to be a good substitute ring for the time being. It is untradeable, but you can reobtain it for a fee if you misplace it. On top of that, the thing that makes it actually really nice for all players is this is what you're going to do or to use to teleport to the bosses.
It says unlockable boss teleports though, so
Yeah, so
you have to do
not
something.
right away. Yeah, I think it's gonna have to probably gonna be something where you kill the boss and you get a thing kind of like the sleep teleport or something like that.
Yeah, like the Chambers Telly.
Yeah, so there's gonna be use for it though, even if you don't plan on wearing it, which is
Yeah.
nice
But if you do lose this ring, it's untradeable, like we said, but you can get for free if you misplaced it.
for a fee.
Sorry, for a
For
wow,
a free fee.
I misread it in
No.
such a positive light.
Not only is she repeating what I just said, but she is also saying it wrong.
You said for a fee?
Yeah, yeah. All right. 4 new rings on top of that.
Maybe that's why I thought that you didn't say it, because I was convinced it was free.
Yeah. So the 4 new rings, we've already gone over this before, but these are just all your favorite rings from the DKs, of course.
But 2.0.
the upgraded versions, they do look cool. So we have the Ultor ring giving you 12 melee strength, the Magus ring giving you 15 magic accuracy and 2 magic damage,
2%.
The Bellator ring with 20 slash accuracy and 6 melee strength. And finally, the Venator ring, which gives you 10 ranged accuracy and 2 ranged strength. You are going to have to craft these if you want to use them for, obviously, all you Iron Man. It's going to be 90 magic boostable and 80 crafting boostable, so pretty high.
Yeah. All the non-Iron Men, this will be tradable, though.
Yes,
By the
so
GD.
make sure to get your money ready, because I'm sure these are going to be pretty expensive when they first come out.
I'm sure everything will,
Yeah.
initially.
What are you guessing? What do you think? For
How much
the
are rings right now? Like 2 mil the most?
yeah, like 2 to 3 mil for like
20
a
mil.
ranger or for archer ring.
Oh,
20?
I think 20 when it first comes out, like the first week.
Okay, I think, and we're not talking about the first one because the first one will probably sell for like 500 or
No,
a
just like
bill
the
or
average
something.
the first week.
Yeah, the average the first week. I think in the first couple days it'll be between like 70 and 90 mil.
I wonder how far off I'm gonna be. I guess really low compared to you.
Well, I just think people have a lot of money that they're willing to spend on new best in slot. It's like
That's
best in
true.
slot, so it doesn't matter
Yeah.
what you pay for it. You'll probably keep it.
True.
So yeah, I could see easily between 70 and 120, but to make it a little more fair, I'd say 70 between 90.
Okay.
So yeah, hopefully.
I'm at 20 mil, so we'll see where that goes.
You are? What'd you buy?
No, I mean I'm guessing 20 mil.
Oh, I thought you got a bunch of money
You're
recently.
like, you're broke. No, I'm
Yeah.
at like 120.
So next we have Virtus robes, something that you are not going to be able to be broke to buy because I'm sure these are going to be very expensive.
I'm sure.
We couldn't rightfully release the follow-up to Desert Treasure without touching on ancient magics, so they brought out the Virtus robes. They're making a return, offering massive increases to ancient magic damage while serving as a middle ground between Aram's robes and Ancestral finally,
Yep.
after seemingly a millennia.
Ancestral is so expensive right now too, so it's funny.
Yeah. Also, saw this picture. I'll show it to you later, but I
Yeah.
saw this picture of um, the ancestral robes redone in all black and red.
They look cool.
Yeah, they looked really cool because, and this is kind of a hint towards what's later, but
A blood version.
something else is getting a blood black and red version too. So
Nice. Okay.
yeah, pretty nice.
He went to go show me, and on his phone, he's scrolling just pictures of birds at his work.
Yeah, Michelle likes pictures of birds. There you go.
It's your phone.
Each piece of the Virtus robe set is tradable and requires completion of Desert Treasure 2. So you actually have to do the quest in order to even wear the robes.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could just buy and leave in your bank if you really want.
I guess, yeah, if you want to make a poor investment. The Fallen Empire to equip. Each of the bosses has had a chance to drop a piece. So if you wind up enjoying one of them more than the other three, you'll be able to farm it to your heart's content while hunting the full set. So
Cool.
it's not independent like the next item that we're going to be talking about,
Yeah.
which is the Soul Reaper Axe.
Yes.
So this item, you actually do have to kill each of the bosses if you do want to farm this for yourself, such as all you Iron Men.
It's like the Void Waker. You get one piece from all the different bosses.
Exactly. Or it's like the bludgeon where you combine a bunch of the pieces together to make
Yeah.
one item. And while the item itself is tradable, the pieces like the bludgeon are untradeable. So
Yeah, similarly to the ring, the stuff required to make the ring is untradeable. The ring itself is tradable.
oh, which one?
The new rings, the 4 new ones.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's similar to that. So you are going to have to get one item from each of the brand new bosses in order to make this two-handed weapon. This is going to be the one that actually deals damage to yourself to give you a mighty stack, increasing your strength by 6%, all the way up to a maximum of 5 stacks for a maximum of 30%. As well as dealing a total of 40 hit points to yourself. So make sure to try not to kill yourself with this weapon.
It's going to happen a lot.
But once you're fully stacked, you are going to be dealing a significant amount of damage. As far as I understand, single target is supposed to be on par with some of the best out there. So make sure to keep that in mind. Also, this is potentially going to be like the highest strength bonus in the whole game. I don't see how it couldn't be. So I think that'll be cool to see some of the experiments with it.
I never pay attention to the bonuses and other stuff, so I cannot confirm or deny if he's a liar right now.
Yeah. Also, you will slowly lose stacks one at a time after 10 ticks or 6 seconds without attacking. So make sure to keep that in mind. You're going to have to keep up your uptime and not swap your weapons if you want to deal the most damage with this weapon.
Cool.
Beyond that, we have the Ancient Scepter upgrades. And this one is going to be the new staff. And it's going to have an increased 5% magic damage and 10% ancient magic effects, not damage, and meaning that you're going to overheal by 10% of your hit points for blood.
Oh, you lost me for a second because you didn't say for blood. I was like, where's he going?
Yeah. And then for ice, it's going to make it so that ice magics gain 10% accuracy on unfrozen freezable targets. So not on unfreezable targets, no boss weirdness.
I wanted to use on Akka.
We also have Shadow Ancient Scepter. This is going to make it so that your shadow spells also drain strength and defense. So not just attack accuracy. Then we also have Smoke Ancient Scepter, making it so smoke spells reduce healing received by 20% for 10 cycles on hit if the target is poisoned. So you kind of have to hit them twice with the smoke spell.
The smoke one is definitely the most annoying one to read.
Or you just have to make sure that they're poisoned at least. So I guess technically you don't have to, but... upgrading the Ancient Scepters have an increased magic requirement compared to their predecessor, requiring 75 magic, as well as the usual 60 strength and 50 attack to equip.
Cool.
So alongside these, they're going to be tweaking the Ancient Scepter and its upgraded variants to behave similarly to other untradables on death and in PvP, attaching a repair cost. So make sure to keep that in mind if you do die.
Yeah. And then they just include lots of pretty art teasers.
Yeah, by a lot, she means one picture.
2.
Well, yeah, I guess so. The
That
other
you feel
one,
silly.
the other one was like not really art. It was just an in-game thing.
But anyway, they have another post on Desert Treasure 2. This one says, Awakened bosses Blood Torva in Old School's art. Speaking of art.
Speaking of fart.
Disgusting. All right. So, talking about the new bosses being Duke Succulus.
Is it? I think it might be Succulus.
Succulus. Every week we discuss this.
I always called it Succulus because that's how I legitimately read it, but it's probably Succulus.
I like Succulus more.
And then this next one's also good.
Vardorvis.
Vardorvis.
Oh, Vardorvis. The Leviathan and the Whisperer.
Lame.
I like Leviathan and Whisperer. They sound cool.
Yeah, they're not as cool as Vardorvis.
Stupid. These bosses are no pushovers. After all, this is our most ambitious quest to date. And it's only fitting that the bosses match up. Each one is unique. If you're expecting another Vorkath, you'll be in for a shock. But now the development is starting to wind down. We think we can take this fearsome foursome even further with harder variants. I want to pause real quick. The way that they say, this is our most ambitious quest to date, every single blog post, is giving me like the Bachelor vibes, you know, or Bachelorette. Our most dramatic season yet.
Or
every
like,
season.
literally every show we're like, this is going to be the next craziest, or like the coolest houses, the coolest cars ever.
The most dramatic finale.
Yeah, like you will fall off your chair and die.
I guess, I mean, what are you going to say? It's okay.
They're like, actually, this is a pretty lame, so you might want to skip it.
I get it. I get the hyping it up. But anyway, they're classing these variants as aspirational content, a particularly challenging goal to work towards that appeals to those of you who completed other aspirational content like Infernal, GM combat achievements, or the Fang Kit recolor. I have that one. These goals give you something to strive for, and they tell every player you encounter that you don't mess around. These challenging battles would take the form of amped-up encounters against the 4 DT2 bosses that double down on their unique mechanics to make for some seriously formidable fights against Awakened bosses. So, the Awakened form of these bosses will be unlocked with the Awakener's Orb. I said that so weird.
Yeah, you did.
Awakener's Orb, a tradable drop available from their regular forms. The orb can be consumed for a single attempt at an Awakened encounter, where it's all or nothing. Get the kill or leave empty-handed. If you want to try the fight again, you'll need another orb. Kind of like Totem Pieces with Skatizo.
Exactly. Except these are tradable, so you can actually buy a bunch.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
This high-stake approach adds an economical incentive to take on the regular bosses. If you're not yet up to the Awakened challenge, you can simply sell your orbs on. So that's why that. Now, a key part of aspirational content is being rewarded with something that tells everyone around you how cool you are. What's the point of overcoming seemingly insurmountable obstacles if you can't flex on everyone at the GE?
Seemingly insurmountable. Come on, brother.
I mean, everything is possible once you tried enough in this game.
Yeah.
These bosses have one primary purpose. Test your strength to unlock Blood Torva. While also have higher chances of uniques than their counterparts, it'll by no means be efficient to complete these for uniques.
Yeah.
So cool. You are only going to want to do this for Blood Torva, and the Blood Torva is really, really cool.
Yeah, it looks cool. It looks pretty nice.
Yeah, it's the new Torva, basically just all black and red.
Yeah. So instead of, imagine where all the purple is, there's red.
Yes.
And it is a darker shade of like metal, like black.
True. It's more like, yeah. Some of it's like the regular black, and then they have like the black on the legs.
Yeah, and you will be, of course, keeping the look of your berserkers, or your... Are they called berserkers? What are they called? No, the gloves.
Oh, ferocious.
Ferocious gloves. I don't know why I think it's berserkers. And your Jordans will stay the same color, so don't worry about those.
Looking at the picture, I didn't even recognize the ferocious because it looks so much prettier in this picture than I've ever noticed in game.
Yeah.
Although we think the Awakened bosses would be a super cool addition to the game, we can't actually start development until we get the green light from you. So this is going to make an appearance alongside the questions from poll 80, which will be coming soon. Should they add Awakened variants of the Desert Treasure 2? And should they reward recolors for Torva armor?
Yeah. I think there's an aspect of this I don't like.
Well, okay.
The fact that the orbs are 1, tradable, and 2, tradable.
Mostly I mean, the Torva won't be tradable at least.
Yeah, my problem is that, like, they're tradable, and so they really just, I mean... Let's just imagine they're like 10 mil, right? Mm-hmm. And someone wants to go for this really hard challenge. Not only do they have to sink in, you know, a bunch of money, because I'm sure you're not going to farm these bosses for like a million years to get a bunch of these to attempt. You're going to spend the money, unless you're an Iron Man, obviously.
Or you're poor.
Or you're poor, I guess. But you're probably going to make more money doing the bosses, and you'll probably just buy these anyways.
True.
So like you have to pay money to do these challenging things, and then once everyone's done the challenging thing, then the price of those will be like worth nothing. And it just seems weird because it's not like you get a higher chance of drops with the orbs. You just get the blood recolor.
Well, I mean,
So
it's strictly just for a flex, for aesthetics.
I know, which is why that's exactly why I think it shouldn't cost any money, because putting
The
that,
orbs.
yeah, the orbs, they like,
Maybe it should be like after you've completed every one, kind of like Inferno with the 6 Strad challenge. You've killed every single one, then they're like, okay, you're allowed to do the awakened versions now.
yeah, like maybe if you killed like so many of them or did the achievements for them, then it would unlock the ability to do it.
Yeah,
It just,
rather than like the buying is like
yeah,
anyone
I
could
don't,
try that and try to brute force it.
I honestly don't have a problem with the buying. It's the fact that it just seems out of place. The
Mm-hmm.
fact that you don't get more loot, even though you're spending definitely more money to enter the bosses.
Yeah,
It just seems kind of like a weird
strictly for the
circumstance.
flex. It's like whenever I was going for my Fang kit, I spent so much time and money doing that, and just for
But imagine if
a
you had to
sharp
pay an
sword.
extra like 2 mil every run or something.
Gross.
You'd be like, wow, this really sucks. I
Yeah, no,
hate this a
I
lot
definitely
more.
would be like
And it
that.
wouldn't make you feel any better when you got it. You'd just be like,
That's
all
fair.
right, that kind of sucked. And now I have this. This is cool.
I wanted to show you because I saw complaints about like people being like, why would the blood Torva come from a desert quest?
Yeah.
And then someone else said, like, with that logic, I want the Blorva, which is Blood Torva,
Uh,
Smorva, Torva, Shadorva, that kind of sounds like the boss name,
yeah.
Shadow Torva, and Ice Torva. So the person that drew it actually did like little versions of
Yeah.
all
This is
the.
actually solid. I didn't realize
It's
what in
funny.
reference it was to.
Yeah, they're definitely not going to add to the game, but the smoke one goes hard, and I wish it would.
Yeah.
I really like it.
It's funny, since you brought that up, I kind of also wanted to bring up something that I thought I took a picture of. I don't know if I did, but
Mm-hmm.
anyways, it was about like someone saying that it's kind of like not their favorite that you're going from oh, actually you said this, that you're going from the Bandos to Torva,
Mm-hmm.
which you don't like the look of it. And then I saw another person say that they don't like that at the end of the game you're wearing a full set of gear.
What do you mean?
Because their argument was like, you go across, this giant landscape, from the Feldip Hills all the way through, the ice zones, all the way through Mauritania, and you just have this one set of gear
Oh, you want
that
to be like
all
more
looks the same.
mix and match.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
I
I
thought
can see
it'd
that.
actually be really cool. It sounds like a
Yeah.
cool idea. Like you have the chest plate from Bandos, you got the pants from like Sins of the Father boss or whatever, and then you have like the sword from Tomb, and then
They'd have to slowly introduce that for the next best in slot that they add.
yeah,
Yeah.
because I really like the look of last time I was looking into it, the Chambers best setup is Bandos top with ancestral bottoms.
Oh, if you're like learning, yeah, they advise taking less switches.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
I was like that. I thought that like look seemed really interesting. And then if you wear like maybe like obviously wouldn't, but like a Slayer helm or something, like just a mashup of stuff that you've like collected over your time in the
Kind of
game.
makes sense rather
It,
than all from one. But
yeah,
like, it makes sense lore wise, but in the game, I don't know how they'd implement it.
yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think that's asking way too much, but I think it would be cool.
Yeah, no, it would make sense too.
Yeah, because that's how it is in WoW too. It's like you just have, or generally you just have like a full set, or style your character however you want, but usually it's a full set.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems cool.
Yeah. There's one more thing to address, though. Those of you with good memory will notice that the Blood Torva set above looks a little bit different to the original proposal. So just think of how normal Torva looks. This leads us neatly into the next section of the blog, a message from our art team about old school, its art direction, and Torva armor. So, old school's art style is one of the most recognizable things in the game, of course. It's grown and changed over the past 10 years, and we're proud of what our fantastic art team has done with it. Just compare the early era crocodiles of the Caribbean desert, not you, Roger, though, you're perfect, and compare that to the crocodile models seen in Tombs of a Mascot. Well, reading,
Yeah, they look
so
like
different.
they look like little green planks walking around in the desert.
But not Roger, he's perfect.
I don't even know what that is, but yeah, sure.
Aw. Well, we're being true to our blocky Naughties root. Is that supposed to be like early 2000s? What is Naughties? Naughties.
I don't know.
I think that's like 90s roots. Our art team has put stylish new spins on content, location, models all across the game world. That said, art is subjective, and sometimes we miss the mark. It's time to talk about Torva. Which Everyone has complained about Torva's appearance.
I don't think anyone liked it when it came out, and then they changed it, and they're like, "This is worse," or "This is better, but still bad."
Yeah. So, as a reminder, Torva was actually backported from RuneScape 3, so it's that version model, and our artist immediately noticed subtle but critical differences in its art visual, which made us at odds to the simple and bold aesthetics of old school RuneScape. Following release, we realized it wasn't just us. Hundreds of you took to social media to show off your player-made Torva redesigns and share your feedback. Now that we're looking at a new cosmetic override in the form of the Blorva set, I just like Blorva now, we feel it's time to address these visual discrepancies. As a best-in-slot item, this set creates a precedent for future kits and cosmetics, so it's really important that we establish a strong foundation. So what is the problem exactly? You compare Torva to the Bandos and Justy sets, you can more than clearly see the issues at hand. So we're looking at them right now. It is just so ridiculously over-detailed compared to the rest.
There's many more polygons.
Yeah, like I like detailed stuff, and it's just so extra for no reason.
Yeah.
They go a little bit into saying like how exactly they make the armor, like how they design all of it. But they say that basically the reason that Torva looks like this is that it was designed for RuneScape 3's world scale, which is much larger than that of old school RuneScape. While it looks beautiful in RuneScape 3 and OS, the same design seemed cluttered and out of place, which I think hard agree. So they did a little bit of, it's like a diagram that they show showing different versions of Torva that they're kind of like simplifying it a little bit. And they have a new proposal of how Torva is going to be redesigned and look. And
Yeah.
it looks way more old school style, much simpler, but like actually nicer.
It seems better, but I still am not the biggest fan of it.
Well, I also want to say, because shout out to Skatiso, she's a streamer. She made a very good point, which is why did we go from this super cute crop top and mini skirt with bandos to just like this really bulky, not cute outfit at all?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I actually agree. I whenever I'm switching to Torva eventually, but it's also partly last because I don't like the fashion scape of it compared to my bandos.
Yeah.
Sounds cute.
I think I always thought, I think the chest piece and the helmet look a lot better. I've never understood the shoulders.
The shoulders, I think, are supposed to be heads, right?
Oh, yeah, no, they look like they're supposed to be like wolf heads or something, but that doesn't make sense
Where'd
to me.
the wolf come
Yeah,
from?
like, I was like, maybe do something else with the shoulders seem the most out of place for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the rest I can kind of get on board with, but the shoulders just seem really weird.
I still kind of I like it more now for sure, but
Yeah, it definitely looks a lot better for
Totally.
sure. Less polygons. Looks more like it's meant to be. The
In this
helmet still
game.
seemed kind of weird, and the shoulders seem weird.
One thing about the helmet is they kind of opened up like the mouth area more now, and some people were saying that they should keep it like a closed face guard because that's kind of how the OG is, just as like a little shout out to it. I don't know if you even noticed that. That's
No,
open now and it used to be closed.
no, I definitely noticed it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I don't know, cause like it looks like cool and menacing, the red eyes and like the black face, but I don't know. It's just like the more you hide your character,
Have red eyes?
yeah, it does.
Oh, it does.
Yeah, so like the more I feel like this happens in every game for me, the more you hide your character, the less I care about my character.
True. It kind of gets rid of all your customizations.
Yeah, because like not even just that, it's like
My character's blue. I want to be able to see the blue.
I eventually stop really seeing my character and start just being like, oh, this is my set of armor I'm running around.
Yeah. That's why everyone can so easily pull off that Slayer prank where they get you to die at like Dust Devils or something by saying, "What color is your RuneScape hair?" Because you forget, because you never see it. And you take off your Slayer helmet and you get messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's happened to me.
Never come across that, but okay. But yeah, I don't know. I think they could do better. It just still seems kind of out of place. It's better for sure, but
Definitely better.
could use some more passes maybe.
Yeah. Why now? We've known that Torva is visually inconsistent for a while, so why are we addressing this issue now? The truth is, our definition of old school art style has gone through a number of refinements over the years. When we first backported Torva, there was less scrutiny around the quality of backported content, but as we progressed throughout the catalog, we noticed the art style was starting to drift away from what we intended. As we mentioned above, we've developed a pipeline exclusively for handling backported models, so now each and every asset goes through various checks where we balance it against the existing old school library to ensure that it's a consistency in style.
Yep.
Usually there are a lot of reductions and refinements to make. You can see one recent example in Ancient Warrior kits from the recent Bounty Hunter relaunch. We've already mentioned that old school and RuneScape in general has gone through several visual shifts over the years. Rest assured that we're dedicated to upholding old school's visual consistency and iconic look. as we look at the possibility of releasing the Blorva kit as a cosmetic reward from harder variants of the DT2 bosses, seems the perfect time to iron out this long-standing inconsistency. So let's take a look. And then they just show us the blood armor again.
Yeah.
But they do show a comparison of the newer, redesigned, proposed Torva changes next to the blood armor.
The blood armor looks more in place in the game than...
Maybe it's just the purple.
No, it's... Honestly, it really has a lot to do with the shoulders for me.
The shoulders on the Blorva are still there, but instead of being like crooked, they're more like straight. Dude, that's why?
And no, I also have a problem. They're like slightly too bulky for me.
Yeah.
Because like the only other shoulder you have that's like that even remotely is Bandos, and it's only on one side.
It's only on one, so it's not too much.
Yeah.
That's the thing with Torva too. That I was saying like it's not cute. I think that's the word. It just looks bulky.
Yeah. It really doesn't look like your character. It looks like you're carrying around like this.
A suit of armor.
This armor has always looked more tanky than Justiciar, which doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Justy is like by far the tankiest item in the game.
It definitely looks more like a defensive fit than a offensive one.
Especially with the blood on the front. It's like
I do love how the blood looks.
This gives me really reminiscence of like a Blood Death Knight from World of Warcraft, which is a tank.
Wait, I realized that I'm thinking whenever I'm looking at this, I'm kind of imagining this huge giant knight that we had to fight in D&D before.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm literally imagining it was this, and it's just like the tankiest thing in the world.
Yeah, and it's just I don't know. It doesn't seem like it really fits. Like it should be trimmed down. This is supposed to be like, I don't know, not what it looks like. I guess.
think it just needs to look lighter because if it's melee, you'd expect it to be lighter gear. Melee gear, if you're trying to be stronger, you're not gonna be carrying around like these heavy, bulky stuff.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know.
Also, on top of this reminds me of something that's a problem in WoW is like you have a lot of the older stuff that WoW's 15 years old. So is this game, or 20. Whoever cares, it's old, and so. It's funny because like in WoW you'll have like the older sets of gear that like you can tell there is less detail. There's less polygons. You can see that there is less, and it just looks worse. And this is like kind of how it is
opposite
with this, where it's like this looks too
good.
Yeah, it looks a little too good.
That's like low-key how Torva was before. Yeah, it's too good. As a note, we are treating the proposed Blorva reward as separate from our plans for the base Torva appearance. If you're unhappy with the proposed changes to the base armor, make sure to let us know. But when voting on the Awakened bosses and Torva blood armor, bear in mind that they're a separate project. So my impression of this is that this redesigned Torva is not going to be voted on. It's just going to happen.
Yeah, the redesign is just happening.
Yeah, it's only the Blorva. Yeah. Also, I'm just obsessed with saying Blorva. It's way faster. But anyway, that is it for the DT2 blog post this week.
Yep, that's it. So we are going to move on to the actual update for this week, and then we'll go into our Q&A.
Yep.
So the Forestry Part 1, Redux.
Redux.
This
3.0.
is some more changes to Forestry Part 1. We're aware that some players with a Jagex account did not resolve their bank's slots. That hopefully has now been fixed. Did not receive their bank slots. We're aware that the bushes from the flowering event are also spawning on top of each other, and this has also been fixed.
Hot fixed at least.
Yes. And this is actually pretty cool.
Yeah, those are the only bad things that have happened though this week.
Yeah,
which
luckily,
is kind of they're really getting it down.
I mean, to be fair, there wasn't a lot of changes, as we'll see in a second.
Do you remember how much there was before?
Yeah. So this next change kind of talks about the last hotfix, but they say that we're back with more changes to Forestry, making it less cluttered. Box traps, fires, and flowers will now automatically be removed if they're on a tile where Forestry events can spawn.
Good.
In addition, Door of Multi-Countings will auto-decay when placed on the tile occupied by Forestry events, and you can claim a new one from Nulodon.
That's what you said you wanted. You want them to instantly disappear.
Nulodian, sorry. Yeah.
I don't even know how to say his name.
But that's exactly what I was saying. Random events will also no longer spawn in range of Forestry events. So unfortunate, actually, kind of.
Yeah, I guess, it'll still show up when you're woodcutting around it, but...
Yeah, it's just kind of annoying whenever the troll comes over.
Oh, I had to turn off everyone's random events whenever I was there. It was annoying.
Me too. Also, we've made a few changes to the Forestry events themselves, starting with the flowering tree, kind of like we were talking about.
The Buzzlebee one.
This is nice because they added some stuff to make it easier for anyone that might be visually impaired or anything like that. So they made it so all of the flowers are actually colored. Yeah. So you can see right away which ones belong with which.
Yeah, you just match them up.
And on top of that, if you also are even more visually impaired, you can right click on each of the bushes and it'll say whether it's a blue bush or a
Red
yellow bush,
bush, whatever,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, so you can match them that way as well. And also, alongside making the visual changes, players that have a bee on a stick consumed when a flowering tree event spawns will receive significantly more bark for their final reward
So don't be like me and just leech.
and more per action. We've also made scaling work so that the difficulty scales based on the number of people with specifically a bee on the stick cutting the tree rather than how many people are cutting the tree
I
in
guess I'm gonna
general.
have to actually buy bees on the stick now.
Yeah, they're like, you
I've
gotta get
just been
this.
straight up leeching. I've been like, oh, someone else has it.
Yeah. On top of that, they also made it so that the magic root from Rising Roots changes positions more frequently, unfortunately.
Yeah, it kind of stayed in the same place for a long time, which was
Yeah.
nice, but I get it.
This is hopefully to justify the higher XP rates.
Yes.
And then now over to the Forestry shop, where Ultimate Iron players finally can huzzah, because you can
Huzzah.
finally sell your logs.
Deposit, not sell.
Deposit, sell, whatever. They get rid of your logs to the
Friendly
friendly
forester.
forester. It's a one-way transaction. You cannot get your logs back. They've also disabled the sell back option for Ultimate Irons in this specific shop in general. So no selling back at all.
Interestingly, though, unfortunately due to time constraints, we're unable to roll out this change to all players.
Yeah,
So
so
only Ultimates could do that for now.
you're still going to have to go to the bank if you are a not ultimate player,
Yeah.
which is totally fine. Also in the forestry shop, they changed the description of the funky shaped log to be more readable. And lastly, we've made some improvements to the collection log, making it more alphabetical. And there's also changes we have for forestry. That's all the changes we have for forestry either.
Wow.
And although we'll be keeping an eye out to make sure everything is going smoothly, roll on for part 2.
Nice.
Before we do roll on, I had a suggestion that someone in the community made that I thought was a really, really good idea.
Okay.
Really cool. I thought it was a really, really good idea.
Okay.
And so, obviously, going into part 2, coming up, whenever it comes up, we have the tea situation.
Yeah.
So, someone had the ingenious idea.
Kombucha.
No, they're saying, what if you were able to combine teas with the soups that you can make at Crazy Dave's in such a way that
The boosted stews?
the boosted stews. So the more of each type of leaf you add, so let's say you add an oak leaf,
Mm-hmm.
and it gives you a -1 chance to get, or a -1 to like attack,
Yes.
but minus as in plus. So let's
You've lost
say
me.
you put a bunch of leaves in there.
Okay.
It could potentially counteract the potential negative effects of the stew.
Oh,
So
okay.
let's say you like get the stew. Obviously, you can have a -6 from the stew.
Yeah.
But if you
-5.
-5, -6, but if you put enough leaves, it would counteract that, and you would still get the plus bonus that you were going for, without the RNG.
That'd be nice, but I don't know if they will because they like us to suffer.
I think it'd be cool because they were suggesting like maybe certain leaves would give you certain additions or certain minuses, and then if you wanted, obviously for construction, that's like one of the big ones.
Yeah.
You could like put like a bunch of different leaves. If you put like 10 of each leaf, and it would give you not a guaranteed chance to get +6, but like maybe a lot higher chance to get between 3 and 6.
Yeah.
Then potentially that would make it so stews are still valuable in the game. And also teas have an alternative use besides them, doing the Slayer thing and being overpowered.
Yes.
So
I mean, I could see them definitely incorporating them together because whenever they first were talking about the teas, we were saying it sounded a lot like the stews.
yeah, I think that was a really cool idea.
Yeah.
Because currently the teas are kind of in a weird place.
I would agree. That's why whenever you said the teas, I made a face.
Yeah.
Moving on to bounty hunter changes, though. It's been a while now since Bounty Hunter graced us with its return, and while I've made a handful of changes to what goes on in Damon's Crater, there are a few things we still see a lot of feedback on. Among those are 2 Bounty Hunter exclusive weapons, whose power makes them perhaps too appealing an option inside the crater. With today's game update, we've adjusted the Dark Bow Bounty Hunter and Abyssal Dagger Bounty Hunter to try and shave a little power off to keep setups feeling varied. So the Dark Bow has had its special attack adjusted so that its projectiles no longer land on the same tick. We felt that the same tick projectiles coupled with 55% special attack energy remaining made this iconic bow a little too strong.
Yeah.
The Abyssal Dagger has had its special attack cost increased from 25% to 35% to reduce the likelihood, of people dumping 4 special attacks back to back and hoping for a massive number.
Yep.
So we'll keep an eye on these changes, and if you feel we've been too heavy-handed or not heavy-handed enough, then we'll make sure to adjust and update you.
It's funny because on top of this, this is totally, I guess, separate, but it is about Bounty Hunter. I saw I think it was a video or like a clip of someone that like went all in into making
A Bounty Hunter account?
the Dragon Mace. The
Oh.
Dragon Mace spec like hit extremely hard. I think it was able to hit up to like 65 or something.
Oh. I
Like,
haven't gone down to Bounty Hunter.
yeah, me neither. But yeah, it looked really cool. I thought it was really
Jeez.
funny because I think you can do back-to-back specs and they hit like a 65, 55 on this person.
Not too bad.
I was like, wow.
I would be deceased.
Yeah, that was hilarious. But yeah, pretty cool stuff that they can do in Bounty Hunter.
Yeah. There's some other small changes. So Giant Seaweed now has a different inventory icon and model, which I noticed last night. It was very random. I don't know why they did that, but whatever. 2 things for Steam and mobile only. Players may now set the maximum number of items shown on their ground item list from their settings menu, and players may now right-click a source in the loot tracker to ignore it. Other than that, the PvP arena is using 1 defense pure loadouts this week.
Nice.
But yeah, that is it for this week's updates.
Yep, that is all. On to our Q&A questionados. And if you also want to participate, like I said at the beginning of the podcast, feel free to ask us on Discord or really anywhere else.
Yeah, we'll say all of our socials in the outro if you want to use the timestamps. Okay. So, first question is going to be... Actually, before we get to the questions, Harger had some responses to questions from last week. So if you remember, Bali suggested that maybe we could include other people's footage in the background, which now is even less relevant, I guess, because now we're trying cameras.
Yeah.
But anyway, Harger did have a suggestion based on the suggestion. What if OSRS snapshots could be brought to the Art Guild in Sears Village and you could get made into a painting for your house? Or potentially even have painting or wood carving or statue carving as part of crafting, fletching, or smithing mining, respectively. I think that'd be super cute.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool if it was like part of construction or something.
I think I'm imagining specifically like wood carving. I feel like wood carving just seems like something that'd be in the game under crafting. It's kind of strange that's not.
Yeah, I think it would be cool. I think it would never happen because that's a lot of files to store on your server. But yeah, that would be cool.
I think it's a cute idea. But anyway, Harger's question for this week. What are your thoughts on a new subscription model where players have a choice between many different price levels? So all of the current payment methods exist, and additionally the following will be introduced. So set hour week. Players pay a set price for a set number of hours per week and have to pay surcharges if they surpass this limit. If they pay less, they pay the same. The lowest plan is 10 hours and the highest is 50. The higher the plan, the less per hour rate is. This plan is good for players who know exactly how much they want to play per week. The set time can be modified every weekly payment cycle. If you play over 21 hours a week, this is cheaper than the yearly membership. 1-day membership. If you only play a couple days a week, paying by the day will be cheaper than paying by month or year. Lifetime membership. This is a one-time payment equivalent in price to 3 years of yearly membership. And family plan. Your credit card can be linked up to 4 accounts for the monthly, yearly, or lifetime membership. It gives a 10% discount for each additional account added.
Oh, the family plan would be abused immediately.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, what do you think?
I actually like the set hour. I could see that becoming a thing because people who like work full time and play, and they know that they're not going to be able to play like 50 hours a week.
I don't see any of these happening because I think they prey on the fact that you could forget or...
Exactly. Or like you're still paying your monthly membership on your GIM, and now you're just not going to play anymore.
But I did play for, I think, enough months where it was still technically cheaper.
He got the year plan, so it's something that's still happening.
Yeah, I think it's still... Because it's only $6 a month if you buy it for the year, and I think I already saved...
your money's worth.
I think I already saved money on it, so...
Fair.
But I actually, while I don't see any of these happening, especially the lifetime one.
The lifetime is such a good deal.
Yeah.
That's like $100 or $180?
Yeah, 100, 240.
Damn, that'd be good.
Yeah. Well, I think it's 70 or 80, so 210 to 240 for a lifetime. Yeah, that's and if
unbeatable.
10% off that's $24 times 4 people. That's $90 off. Yeah.
They would definitely not do it, but now I want it.
They would never do that, but I think it'd be like all your homies get onto the family plan, 40% off all of the homies. Like, yeah, that would be
cool.
impossible. But yeah, that'd be really cool. Never gonna happen, but I would be totally up for it.
Oh yes.
I would actually probably use the set hours. It's funny that
I feel like that
Harder
would be
brought
good for
this up
you.
because I was literally thinking today in the car. I was like, I think I play 3 to 4 hours a week and then double that on the weekends. So
Hmm.
I would get,
So if you had set hours, that'd be
if
perfect.
I just bought 15 hours every week, then that is almost exactly what I would get, if
Hmm.
not a little less. It'd probably be between 12 and 15.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, so that would be pretty nice, but
But they like to take our money, so
yeah,
that
that
won't
would that
happen.
yeah, that would defeat the purpose. So that's never gonna happen. But I think it's a good idea.
Ivor said, "What quest name is the best band name? I want to die in the mosh pit at a Ratcatchers gig." And before I read your answer, I wanted to say Ratcatchers because I feel like that's just perfect.
She always copies everything you say.
No, but so like literally most quest names are good. Like Dragon Slayer, obvious. Song of the Elves.
I think Sins of the Father probably
Sins of the Father
probably
is
a
really
name.
good. That's
Yeah.
a really good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ratcatchers was the one that I immediately thought of.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think of another one that's more original. You think of one. What's the Regicide? Regicide's a good one.
Regicide, that's probably already one.
Like a monarchy one.
Rag and Bone.
Rag and Bone. Rag and Bone 2.
Rag and Bone 2, Return of the Bone. Yeah.
I like
think
that.
there's a lot of good ones.
Oh yeah. Maybe a better question. Are there any OSRS quest names that would not be great band names? And he feels like no. Rag and Bone Man 2.
Actually, funny enough, I don't really see this as being. I think it would just exist. I don't know if it's bad, but I think Cook's Assistant isn't good.
I was thinking Cook's Assistant worse than that Sheep Shearer. Cook's Assistant sounds better at least. Like, what do you?
I feel like Sheepshear is weird enough that it could be a band name.
I was thinking Romeo and Juliet because it's just like
That's definitely a band name.
it's totally a band name, but like it's kind of basic, you know?
Yeah. But yeah, I would honestly probably say Cook's Assistant. I don't.
What's the other one? Oh, Recipe for Disaster. Never mind. That's actually,
I was gonna say Dig Site, but I'm like, that's
That's a
actually
pretty
kind of
good
that's kind of a
one.
metal name.
Yeah, it's kind of metal.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like all the early ones are not great names though.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's actually so funny
Oh.
you asking that. Most of the quests would be good bands.
It's funny because like if you try, anything's not bad. But I was gonna say like Doric's Quest.
Of course,
like,
that could be good though.
Doric's Quest could be
You'd have
like
ballads.
it'd be like a ballad
Exactly.
like folk band or like talking about how Harry Potter went up to Mount Doom or whatever.
Yeah, that's what he did.
Through the ring in the lava. Who
Yeah,
cares?
for sure, for sure. Basically everything works for that.
Yeah.
Which we should start a band. Our final RuneScape question. How would you feel about a torture system being implemented to OSRS? This is from Matt on Instagram, by the way.
Yeah.
Potentially, it could be a new skill or maybe part of many skills. Basically, you'd be able to force information or items or gold out of NPCs by torturing them. Torture is historically relevant in the OSR's theme, and this would allow for special torture machines using construction, crafting, torture potions using herblore, spells using magic. You put a lot of thought into this torture.
Yeah.
Maybe it could even be used against other players somehow, too. I don't want it because it sounds too gnarly.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think I could see this being parts of skills, being
Not
exclusive.
a torture skill.
Yeah, being exclusively at skill. I don't know.
Can you imagine the new skill coming 2024? Torture.
Untold.
Unfold.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a little too involved.
I don't think that you'd be able to have it work that many places. I feel like it would end up being like the Karos ring or whatever.
Yeah.
They could use people to convince sometimes, but like it doesn't get used that much.
I was gonna say I could see it happening for thieving,
Mm-hmm.
because there's bludgeoning or there's blackjacking, which is bludgeoning.
So that's just torture anyway.
Yeah, that really is.
Over and over again.
So that I could see that being a partial thing. I could see like the storyline in a quest being kind of like how I think there's like a Harry Potter thing like this where you use magic to make the person like do.
You could torture.
Yeah, like
Or take
torture
control of
them
their
or take
body,
control
yeah.
of them, do what you want, something like that. So I could see that being like part of a quest, not so much as like a skill.
Or like the Avatar, the blood bending.
Yeah,
That
and
was a really
I'm trying to
creepy
be like
episode.
realistic about it because like all your suggestions were just so wild that would never happen. But
They are fun to think about though.
I do think parts of that could happen in other things, but definitely not a full skill.
Yeah, I don't
line.
think I'd want to see as a full skill.
That'd be way too. That'd be like the next one we have is professional goring. So,
Stop it.
Yeah, it's just how good can you stab this person? Like, like what? I don't know.
Really good.
It's like yeah, you twist the blade. Like,
Yeah, that's it for our RuneScape questions. We don't actually have any in real life questions, but last week we had one from Ivor talking about intrusive thoughts, and I had two things to say on that. First, Mandy commented on YouTube saying, absolutely worrying hear you guys talk about intrusive thoughts. And I said, if they were fun, they wouldn't be intrusive.
That is very much
True.
the case.
Which I was thinking one yesterday too. I was just like driving and I was like, what if I just hit this person? What if I just didn't?
What if?
And I was like, oh my God. Anyway, Hariger wanted to share kind of an intrusive thought story as well. If you would like to read it, Rover.
Sure. I had a reoccurring thought for a while that people would chase me with knives and kill me. I think it started after watching Scream.
Which, side note, Harger's is the opposite of us. So Harger's probably imagining us chasing him down.
Oh.
Ours are like more violent.
Okay.
This is being the victim.
One time I was running on the trail by the river and I passed a guy. For some reason I had a random thought of, what if this guy chases me with a knife and kills me?
Specifically a knife is so
Anyways,
Scream.
I continued to run and turned off the main trail to a side trail, and after about a minute I heard footsteps behind me. Who was it? That guy I passed, sprinting after me.
This is not intrusive thought if they're sprinting after you, by the way.
I was so scared I jumped and squeaked and almost fell. Turns out the guy was a teammate on my football team and he wanted to scare me.
Bruh, if anyone started chasing me to scare me on purpose, I would never be their friend ever again.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
funny
what?
because sometimes when we're going to the car, I'll chase Michelle and she gets scared.
I don't like feeling like being chased. In games either, but especially in real life, like my younger sister used to like chase me up the stairs and I'd be like, yeah, he likes to chase me to the car and do like weird stuff. And I'm like, seriously, stop.
Yeah, pretty funny.
It's scary. Yeah, that's not even an intrusive thought. I can't imagine being scared of someone chasing you. You turn around, someone's chasing you. Like, that's actually a nightmare.
Yeah, true.
Oh, glad you do them.
But yeah, hopefully no one chases you or anyone else that is listening, unless you like that type of thing. But I was gonna look to make the episode longer because there was some interesting stuff on the subreddit recently, but it's already been quite some time, so I think we'll end it off here.
Also, it's so hot. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see me keep moving and like lifting up my hair and putting up my hair. It's just so hot right now. I'm suffering, man.
Yeah, it's around 85 degrees, which
Fahrenheit.
is around, I think, like 35 Celsius. No,
like
no
at
way.
least 100 Celsius.
No way. I think
I'm
35
melting.
is too high. All right, so it's like 27 Celsius.
No, I think it's 30 something. I think 30 is 80.
Really?
I don't know.
Wow, let us know.
I don't know.
Let
you
us
start
know.
the outro and I'm gonna look.
Don't look it up. Let us know what 85C is. Or not 85C, 85F to C is.
In Celsius, let us know.
Yes.
We will never look it up.
No.
If no one tells us, we will be forever oblivious.
Yes, exactly.
We're gonna move to the Netherlands and just purposely never learn Celsius.
Well, I know the math. It's times 2 plus 30.
Don't do the math, Robert.
All right, I won't do it. So yeah, that's going to be about it. Thanks for sticking around. Again, if you want to follow us on any of our social media, you should, because we do giveaways in our Discord, as well as
movie nights,
share interesting things, movie nights, play games, have other people
our
play
giveaway
games with us.
actually ended while we were recording, and I need to go restart it.
Yeah, like I said in the beginning, I do play things like BattleBit, so feel free to join and play other games as well. So we have people that play all kinds of games.
Yeah, but Robert does not play late at night during the week, so hit him up early.
Yeah, on the weekends is usually when I'll play. So
Yeah.
make sure to keep that in mind. And yeah, where can they find us?
Yeah, so we have our TikTok and Twitter are both Bunebapeosrs. Our Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch are all Bunebape. So I stream 5 days a week at twitch.tv/Bunebape. You can see my hand in the background as I'm saying this. That's really funny.
Yeah, and while this is our first episode with cameras, we already have ideas to improve the camera situation. So
yeah, hopefully we're not going to be squished next to each other.
Yeah, so hopefully this will improve with time. So make sure to stick with us, and hopefully you enjoyed it. Let us know what you think, and yeah, thanks again for watching. So we'll see you guys
very soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.